Hey y'all, I'm AdaKay, and I must confess, I'm a trial junkie. I enjoy viewing trials as if I was the seated juror. So grab a cup of java, get comfy, and join me as we hop into court. And don't forget to comment, like, and most importantly, subscribe. And if you're really enjoying the channel, please join our membership. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? It's early, but we're here. Good morning, good morning. Welcome. I'm AdaKay. Thank you for joining me today. We will be discussing a lot of things today, but we are going to be watching for the Delphi murder sentencing. We will see what happens there. I don't think it's going to be televised, but we will wait for the verdict. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Missy Morales. You were the first in chat. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to, for those of you who don't know a lot about the Delphi murder, I'm going to, in a minute, play a little recap of that, and so we can get on. Hello, Miss Morales. How are you doing this morning? I haven't even had my cup of coffee yet. I got to make me a cup of coffee. This girl wants a cup of coffee so bad this morning. I hope everybody slept well. I did decently. So today we are going to be the Delphi murders. We have Richard Allen is the person that has been found guilty, and we will be keeping an eye out for the sentencing on him. Again, I don't think they have anybody in court. Oh, I'm getting your coffee now. You're getting coffee now? Yeah, you want to get some for me? No, I got a brew. It's right here. No big deal. I am watching. I'm watching. Oh, Meet the Robbins. I see you have a new blog up. I'll have to go look. I am looking right now online, so please be patient because we are trying to see what we have going on. As always, this time of the year, it is very, very sparse when it comes to trials. Not a lot of things are popping this time of year. Oh, excuse me. We've got a lot of, everything is pretty much closed down for this time of the year. So we will be, judge sentences Janine Jarmillo to more than 60 years in prison for the deadly wrong way alcoholic driving incident where she was under the influence driving the wrong way and it caused the death of 2 people. Yay! That's done. Not yay. Well, I guess I can say yeah. Brad Simpson's bond is modified to allow letters from his son. I'm just looking at things, trying to. So with that, thank you everybody for joining. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm doing our little cruising to see what's happening. I'm going to go ahead and share this screen. We're going to go ahead and watch this little presentation by Court TV, shared with permission, and I'm going to watch this real quick to catch people up about this case.
At the High Bridge in Delphi, Indiana.
Delphi is just not one of those places where any of us ever thought that something like this would happen.
Despite that video, despite that audio, nothing happens, seemingly, for 6 years.
The judge did find probable cause for an arrest of Richard Allen. He's been charged with 2 counts of murder.
Hello,
for the murder of
ladies,
Abigail
and
Williams
welcome.
and Liberty German.
Richard Allen, you child murderer! Why did you do it?
No. They got the wrong guy. There's no way.
There are other people who were looked at for this.
Shame on you!
It's some sort of a religious sect/cult
Shame on you, Richard!
that follow Odinism.
Shame on you, Richard Allen!
I believe they sacrificed a girl and killed another one.
And law enforcement insists no one's ever been cleared.
Baldwin, can you provide any comment?
Journalism. It's time for you guys to start being journalists.
Oh, snap. Really? Oh, I hate seeing the pictures of those babies. Wow. Great intro. Great intro.
Delphi is a small town. The downtown is 2 blocks. It has a main street, literally a main street, old courthouse, wonderful restaurant called the Stonehouse Grill, which has amazing breakfasts.
Oh, that
And
sounds
it
good
just
right
has
about
that
now.
regular America, small town cliche almost flavor and feel.
Oh, they also have Amish.
Downtown is surrounded by lots of fields, corn and soybean, and lots of farmland.
The historic trails of Delphi is a popular spot in town for people to go to. It's a little bit outside of town. It's just a beautiful place filled with trees. You could hear nature. You could hear the birds chirping. It's a very serene place.
I live pretty close to the trails. Dropping your kids off at the trails was just something that you did. It was just what kids did.
And just off the trail, there's an abandoned railroad bridge, the Monon High Bridge, 63 feet above Deer Creek.
Oh, that's a pretty nice bridge.
The Monon High Bridge is not that serene. It's this old, rickety bridge, or it was at the time, right? The rail ties are falling apart. It's, you know, you could look down,
Did they knock it
a
down?
couple steps and look down and see a 100-foot drop below you.
I mean, it was a very high bridge. The name definitely applies. I grew up watching people post on their Snapchat stories, like going to the bridge to like read a book or things like that, and they'd have their feet like swinging over the edge. My name is Cynth Rossi, and
My mother
I
would have
was best
killed
friends
me.
with Abby and Libby.
If I had done
I
something
first
like
met
that.
Abby when we were in preschool together. I spent my entire childhood basically at her grandparents' home.
We just loved being little girls and just sitting on my bed,
Oh.
reading magazines, playing with makeup. She loved playing dress up. That was one of our favorite things to do together.
I first met Libby when we were in classes together in elementary school. She just had such like a spunky personality. She was constantly saying the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life.
I've seen this picture a lot. It was during one of her swim meets. She loved swimming and how much she was such an active kid. She seemed to never run out of energy. She was constantly going. The picture that I'm often cropped out of. So this was our solo and ensemble competition with the song Home on the Range that we could not agree how to play. And Abby's actually wearing a dress that my mom had gotten her for Christmas.
I'll never forget that day, February 13th. It was around 2 p.m. I saw the picture of Abby on the bridge on their Snapchat stories, and I immediately just knew that something was wrong.
Taken by liberty, it should have just been them being kids on a day off from school, but unfortunately it turned into a lot more.
Central case, 2 missing juveniles. Liberty Rose Lynn German, last seen at the
Good
High
morning,
Bridge
Miss Haley
in Delphi,
Mouse.
Indiana, at approximately 1300 hours. Second juvenile, Abigail Joyce Williams, surgical last seen wearing a gray zip up sweatshirt and a red shirt with a red shirt under it and jeans.
On the afternoon of February 13th, 2017, Abby and Libby were dropped off at the trails that lead to the Monon High Bridge. They were supposed to be picked up by Libby's father at 3 p.m. They never turned up. The search started around 5:30.
Well, upset, confused, obviously very distraught. Just worried. All I want to do is have the girls get home safe. Missing, abducted, we don't know for sure. There's a cell phone tower, but the ping was last noted about 5 or 6 hours ago. They say the phone's now dead.
Word spread quickly that help was needed, that these girls needed to be found. Hundreds of people turned out and searched through the night. Becky Patty, Libby's grandmother, would say that you could see flashlights everywhere like stars in the sky, like fireflies. It was a full town effort.
Ravines, ditches, trash cans for phones, any sign of girls.
I was like, I think one of them just like fell off the bridge and maybe broke their leg, and then the other one went down to help them and maybe they got hurt.
All options are on the table. Did they run away? Did they go to a party? Did they fall off the bridge? Did they get injured? No one had any idea what had happened to them, but the official search was halted that night and picked up the next morning.
The next day I went to school and it was just gloomy.
Hundreds of people showed up, searching all over the place. Hope was high, and then the word came.
I learned that Abby and Libby had been found when I saw everybody in the hallway just crying. No one said the exact words to me. And we just sat on our phones and watched the news headlines start to come in.
We have found 2 bodies about a mile east of town. We are investigating this as a crime scene. We suspect foul play.
Yeah, they were
didn't
couple.
identify them
Hi,
as Abby and Libby, but
thank
everyone knew.
you. Congratulations.
Knew it was them.
Oh, wonderful, huh?
I wasn't in a position to
you.
hear it. I just was truly traumatized. Like my body was just in fight or flight. I didn't know exactly what all foul play entailed,
Good
but
to see you, hun.
when my mom started to tell me someone hurt them and someone wanted them to die, for me, it was so difficult to process. News stations started showing up to my house. I couldn't enter my home without someone asking, what happened? Do you have any information? And I'm just trying to process the fact that my 2 best friends were just murdered, let alone trying to balance a media presence at 13. Like, it was so terrifying.
Basically, we have identified the bodies of the 2 females that were found out yesterday. Abigail J. Williams, 13, of the Delphi area, and Liberty Rose Lynn German, 14, of the Delphi area.
Good afternoon,
Family has
Haley
been
Mal.
notified.
Forget it. It's afternoon for you.
This is considered a double homicide investigation.
Yeah, I had known that Abby and Libby were active on some kind of sites where you could meet
Good
new
morning,
people.
PK. Good morning.
And part of me thought that might have something to do with it, that maybe they had met someone online.
We have nobody in custody at this time.
The next day, police released a picture of a man on the bridge. He appears to be wearing a blue coat, blue pants, and boots. They don't say where this picture comes from, but they do say that they are looking for this person and they want to talk to him.
When I first saw that image, I just wanted to solve it immediately. I was flipping through every single person I'd ever seen in my entire life who might walk like that, who might appear like that. And
interesting. Y'all listen to what she just said. Walks like that and appears like that. Okay, walks like that. You cannot tell how a person walks from a video, from a photo, only from a video. So, at the point that she's referring to, back in the time that all of this is happening, okay, and all this is going down, she didn't know how this person walked. Why? Well, because It was a photo that was shown, not a video. That statement concerns me. Just a little off for the fact that she's talking about when I saw the photo. I was searching through my mind. Did I know somebody who looked like that, walked like that, etc.? How would she know how he walked?
The first
that
thing
point-
that I
That
noticed
point.
when I saw it was the pockets. That they were filled, that there was something along like the waist area. And to me, I just immediately was like, that's either a knife set or a gun.
At this point, no one knows where this picture had come from.
Suspicious.
So speculation was rampant. Was he caught on a trail cam? And if they had that image, what else did they have?
Well, and what she just said there is very...
This picture had actually come from Libby's phone. She had captured that image. Not only that, she had also captured his voice.
And for the first time, we hear that this man is the prime suspect in the murders of Abby and Libby.
Finding out that Libby had recorded him, I felt proud of her.
And then in July of 2017, police release a composite sketch. They say that the man they're looking for in the sketch is between 5'6" and 5'10", weighs between 180 and 220 pounds, and has reddish brown hair.
I couldn't think of anyone that I thought looked like that. But then again, I thought of everyone who looked like that. Like, he just looked like every other.
I hate interviews like this because I didn't know anybody like that, but he looked like everyone like that. It just, listen to what she's saying. Is it me or is it just strange?
Guy I'd ever seen in this town. I couldn't place anyone
Me?
specific
Sure.
to the sketch.
Sure,
and that
Christine.
was frustrating.
Who was this person? Was he a trucker passing through? Could he have been a drifter? Was he a serial killer? This is really when the people in town started to pay attention and start to look around.
I've done numerous interviews with police officers, FBI, investigators, and they all, I mean, when you get asked, do you have any answers? You just want to have an answer, but I didn't.
And then 2 years into the investigation,
It's
a whole new direction.
To the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will.
A couple of new things come out of that presser. They add one word to the audio from Libby's phone.
They also released this much younger sketch saying that he could be as young as 16 at the time of the murders.
I thought to myself, oh my gosh, they have no clue who did it. And I was like,
look how detailed that one is
if
and
the
the other
age range
one's
is from
not.
16
Look how detailed that one drawing is and the other is not. That is strange.
to 40, like, I was like, do they know anything about him? Do they have anything at all? I was hopeless. And that to me was my worst fear, that they wouldn't end up arresting anyone and they would just become another case.
I know, I got my cup,
Despite
Cash.
both of those faces, despite that video, despite that audio, despite the fact that Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter said, this person probably lives here. He's probably a neighbor of yours. No arrests are made for 6 years.
Coming up.
I am proud to report to you that an arrest has been made.
I think everyone's first reaction was, who?
Well, here we are, guys, on Ron Logan's property. Steer Creek. The Monon High Bridge is over that way. And over here is where the bodies were.
The This case has been going on for a long time, and a lot of names have come up over those years as potential people who could have been involved in this crime, and none of them have been cleared. Ron Logan was one of the first people that
I'm
police
out of
took an
creamer,
interest in
too.
for many reasons. One, yes, the girls' bodies were
I'm
found on his
drinking it
property.
black.
That's going to raise questions. But also, he was out there on TV early doing interviews, giving...
You know how good this coffee is? I can drink it black. It's not that bitter. Richmond Homestead Coffee rocks, y'all.
tours of the crime scene, telling people where he was and when.
Who would have thought they let their children out to do something special that day, take a trip down, and then turn out a disaster like this?
Within weeks of the murders, there were 2 search warrants executed at Ron Logan's property. The first one was just looking for guns, and they found 156. The second search was directly related to the murders. Ron Logan gave me a copy of the probable cause that was used to get that second search warrant for the search of his property. And in it, the FBI writes that they believe he is responsible for the murders.
There are a couple key pieces of the Ron Logan probable cause affidavit. Perhaps the most compelling part of it is that he constructed an alibi for a crime that had not yet been discovered.
He lied about when he left his house to go buy tropical fish. He had a suspended license. He shouldn't have been driving at all.
Detectives with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and the Indiana State Police have uncovered an online profile named Anthony Schatz. The fictitious Anthony Schatz profile used images of a known male model and portrayed himself as being extremely wealthy and owning numerous sports cars. The creator of the fictitious profile used this information while communicating with juvenile females to solicit nude images.
We know that Libby was at least friends on social media with the Anthony Schatz profile and that he at least liked or commented on some of her posts. Kegan Klein from Peru, Indiana, about 40 minutes away, admitted he created that fake profile, and I spoke to him from jail.
Are you aware whether you may have talked to Libby on the 13th?
That's what they said. That's what the police told me.
That you did?
Yeah.
And do you have any recollection of that?
No, not at all.
Did you have anything to do with the murders of Abby or Libby?
Not at all. And I gave up my DNA, a hair follicle test. I've done everything they wanted me to.
Which you shouldn't do without seeking an attorney's advice. Get a warrant.
In October of 2022,
Thank you, babe.
surprisingly, we got word that there was an arrest.
What? Disbelief. Like, okay, I'm hearing this, but it's a process.
Like the rest of national media, I showed up to watch that press conference to announce the arrest, not knowing what to expect.
Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation.
We expected to be excited and happy and overjoyed that he's arrested, but now we're dealing with understanding that there's a lot of reopening wounds that's coming with that.
My name's Dan Semitovich. I'm the producer and co-host of Down the Hill, the Delphi Murders podcast. My first reaction, I think everyone's first reaction was, who? We had no idea who this was.
Richard Allen, you child murderer! Why did you do it? Shame on you!
My name is Nicholas McClellan. I'm the Carroll County prosecutor. Mr. Allen has had his initial hearing. He's entered a preliminary plea of not guilty, and he is in custody. He's being held currently without bond.
Here comes a guy that has never, ever been.
I haven't gotten it, love. Make sure you get the right address.
Radar. It was like, where did this guy come from?
Richard Matthew Allen was 50 years old, had no criminal history, and worked as a farm tech over at the local CVS in Delphi.
I was surprised because he seemed like a real nice guy and everything, waiting on us in the drive-thru and everything.
I had not interacted with him, but everyone knew who he was. I mean, he worked there for so long. And when I found out who it was, I never in a million years thought that it would have been him. not someone so integral to the community and to the Delphi experience.
Did you send it to that
Richard
one, love?
Allen has been married to Kathy
Hello,
for 30
Zach.
years.
Good morning. Hey,
They have
KB.
one daughter.
Good morning. Good morning,
Alan was
everybody.
raised in Mexico, Indiana, about 40 miles from Delphi.
Mexico is a very small town, smaller than Delphi, with
Yeah.
a population of about 1,200 people.
Y'all, I like this. KB, attorney here. Every day is shut up and don't talk to the cops day. I agree 100%. Also, casual reminder that all phone calls and visits to and from jail are recorded. Yes, welcome, KB. I am potentially will be a lawyer. I'm looking at law school right now, possibly. But welcome aboard. Thank you for commenting. Yes, definitely is. I don't understand why people feel they have to have the need to run their mouth. If you are in a little room with a table and 2 chairs and other people whom you don't know, and they're asking you a question, guess what? You're a person of interest. Am I not right, KBF? You are a person of interest and your information is being recorded. And do you know those little body cameras? Don't ever talk in front of one of those. Yes. They want to search your home, get a warrant. They want to search your car, get a warrant. They want your DNA, get a freaking warrant. I'm sorry, I'm going off. So many people have gotten themselves in trouble, even when they're innocent, by running. They have diarrhea of the mouth. And, you know, people think just because there's a badge and a gun in front of you and in a black uniform that you have to answer. We've been raised and compelled to do so. Am I not right, KBF? Tell me I'm wrong. We do not have to talk to them without the presence of an attorney. Yay. Okay. Oh my God, Zach. Oh, Haley. Oh, keep it clean. Oh my gosh, Christine. Thank you, Stacy. That first win. Thank you. My alarm's going off and I'm already live. Thank you, everyone. Andrielle, good morning. Good morning. We're kind of doing a recap of it. Who needs ASL interpreters? Who? I will interpret if I know a person is here right now that is deaf and hard of hearing. But I'll go ahead and do that now. I've got my black on. Let me scoot back and get set up. I got ears over here.
That's where Ricky Allen lived, over there in that yellow house, early on.
The court?
When they first got married, they moved in there, if I remember right.
Very okay. KBF, the problem is that you have to be court certified in order to interpret in a court. And that is such a difficult thing to get. People just don't want to get it because it's like too difficult to get. They make it near impossible, but I understand the reasoning for that. So yeah. No, they make us think that to be nice, we should cooperate. Darling, I'm cooperating by standing here and not running. They pull you over and ask to search your car unless they got probable cause, they can't. And they can't keep you there longer than it would take for a normal traffic stop. Am I not correct, KBF? So they can't keep you sitting there an hour and a half waiting for a drug dog. Yeah. Shut up, kids. Handy Mouse, just kidding. It was probably me dancing terribly and eating popcorn with my hair sticking up. Yeah. Okay, now I can do depositions. I can do anything but court. If a judge is present, I cannot do it. That's the way that goes. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm AdaKay Brown. I grew up a totally normal hearing person, but I have lost my hearing. I have mega hearing aids. These are the biggest, baddest hearing aids they make. That is profoundly deaf hearing aids. I am profoundly deaf without my hearing aids or special ears. So I went to college, got a degree in deaf support specialist and interpreting. And yes, no sign language. I speak perfectly fine, but I can't hear crap. What do we need to make it easier? Make it easier for them to pass the test and make it more, it's just passing the test and the qualifications are super hard. But but then again, at the same time, please understand, I'm not against it per se, because people's lives are on the line, and you need interpreters who are skilled and qualified in that language that is used in court. Very important. Hey, Texas brother. No, 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 KBF. You shouldn't say no. You shouldn't say no. Because if I ask, do you mind if I use the restroom? No. That means yes. From what I was taught, now I'm not saying you're wrong, but no would be a good way to put it. But no, I would prefer you not to look in the car, or no, you may not look in my car. You got to be careful how you answer these questions. Can you refuse things and still be polite about it? Yes, I have. Love back. Yes, they just need to bring the bar down just a little bit. See, as soon as I get my bachelor's degree, I'm going for my national certification. At state level, you have to take the BEI. Unfortunately, I have a problem with the people who run the BEI here. It is so hard to pass the state level board of examiners for interpreters, because right now the fail rate is 60 to 70% first time you take this test. And to me, it's like, that's BS. And they're also very subjective in a lot of things. So I have chosen to get my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, go get my national certification, and then potentially see if I can go the court route that way, or become a lawyer. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Toxic. Oh, thank you. I had it done for my sister's funeral. That fail rate is worse than a physician's going to get their medical state board license. Worse than that. And so to me, it's like, yeah. 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 But welcome, TKB. I'd love to have you on the show if you're an attorney. I do have a show on called Sunday Night Live that I like to dive in and get in these cases and get experts' opinions. So if you're interested, just shout out. Yep. Stacy, that first twin, your sister, you have said your niece is hearing impaired. I'm going to educate you real quick. The word impaired in the deaf and hard of hearing community is like the N word. Be very careful with that. She's given traffic tickets. She needs signed interpreter. One was not available, and they dismissed the case. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. It's just the people grading it. It's a very tight-knit community, and if they don't like you, they're going to find reason not to pass you. It is a very hard test. You have a test where you go in and you have to take, before you can take the test, you have to take a test that's called the English proficiency exam. It's the same test if a person comes up from Mexico, lives in the United States, and wants to become an interpreter. And so it is an English proficiency test, because we're proficient in two languages, English and sign language. We have to pass both of those tests, and it's excessively hard. The second thing is the test is multiple parts. You have to take, they pop up pictures, and you have to finger spell the words like pencil, umbrella. So you got the finger spelling part, which is not easy. Then you have the part where you have to listen to somebody speak and you sign it in ASL, not signed English, but ASL, which is hard because in ASL, it's time, subject, and what else. So if I want my son to bring me my shoes now, I would say now, shoes, bring. Okay. So you got to make those changes mentally. And then the third part of that test is where you watch somebody sign and you have to voice. That is the part of the test that people struggle with the most because it's perception and you've got to watch them sign it and put it in exact English. And then the other part of the test is they will give you a question and you have a few minutes to think about it. And then you have to sign like the worst day of your life, that kind of thing. They may ask for your favorite vacation or if you're going to be whatever. And then the fifth part of it is they give you a piece of paper. And usually it's like maybe a court document or a medical or some kind of a business document. It's a document, full type document. And you have 2 minutes to read through it and prepare it. And then it's called sight translation. Then you look at it. And as you're looking, you're signing it. And people get stumped on that. So it is not an easy exam. Not an easy exam. KBF, I'm going to do something. I'm going to throw up my email and there it is. Please email me your information. I would love to have it. So it is not a very easy test to take. I have taken many practice tests and done well, but when I went just to take my midterm, I had to get an attorney involved. My mental has shifted so much since I started watching trials, seeing how bad people are in power can be. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get back into this. Thank you guys so much for watching. What we're doing is watching a little recap of this trial. And if there is a deaf person or anybody knows of one online, I will start signing immediately. But it's really hard for me to run. So Haley Mouse, if you see my hands go up, I need you to really run the chats. Thank you, love.
A very nice, very respectable young man. I mean, always has been.
Yeah, my name is David Yoder, and I knew Ricky his entire life.
He is a very loyal dog.
He's he's very polite, always has been respectful to me. He'll go out of his way to say hi, just to say hello to me. Very friendly, sociable. I really can't speak highly enough about the man. I just can't believe that he did this. I don't believe it for a minute.
People who have talked to, who shopped at the CVS and dealt with Richard Allen described him as friendly. In fact, after the murders, Libby's aunt went in there to have some pictures printed for Libby's memorial. She said Richard Allen helped her, and at the time, she thought he was helpful and kind.
I just wanted to ask him, why would you do something like that? Why would you take such two innocent people from this world? Why? What was your motive? What did you want to do? What were your intentions? Did you know all along that that's what you were going to do?
But we still didn't know why he had been arrested. And they said in that press conference that everything about that was still under seal.
This is really important. While I know you are all expecting final details today concerning this arrest, today is not that day.
It's very unusual for what happened in this case to happen, and especially a case of this magnitude, which is why. That's the reason why. When a case is so high profile, a case that's gone cold for so many years, and there are obviously things that, for some good reason, we as members of the public just shouldn't be privy to.
Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland also said there could be other actors involved in this crime.
Where are those people? Where's that second person? Why haven't we heard anything about it?
Then Sheriff Tobe Lesenby of Carroll County asked the court to move Richard Allen out of the Carroll County jail,
Kristen,
saying
please
they couldn't
resend
ensure
the
his
email.
safety. So the judge agrees, signs off on that, and sends him to the Department of Corrections. And then the judge immediately steps down from the case.
And what happens is he's moved.
without a judge who had recused himself, claiming that the bloodlust of the case was just too much for him to handle, and he didn't think that he'd be able to sit on it.
Allen is moved to the Westville Maximum Security Prison. That's pretty unusual because usually suspects are held at the county jail.
With Allen in prison without defense attorneys and now no judge on the case, the Indiana Supreme Court steps in and they appoint Special Judge Francis Gall, who's from Allen County, about 2 hours away.
Coming up, Richard Allen has a message for the judge.
He writes a letter to Judge Gull, throwing himself on the mercy of the court.
What? There it is. Don't scare me like that.
Richard Allen is in custody without bond after being charged with the murders of best friends Abigail Williams and Liberty German.
So in November of 2022, we finally hear from Richard Allen. He writes a handwritten letter, gives it to Judge Gull, throwing himself on the mercy of the court, asking for help paying for his defense.
Oh,
Allen
Zach's
had
in charge?
originally,
Okay,
when
Zach.
he made his first appearance, had told the judge that he was going to try to get private counsel. I don't think realizing how much a case like this would cost in terms of hiring private counsel.
Carroll County is too small to have its own public defenders. So Judge Fran Gull, she appoints 2 private attorneys, Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin.
Both of these guys have vast experience. I mean, collectively, they've been trying cases for 50 years, both very experienced trial lawyers.
His new defense attorneys, Baldwin and Rosie, immediately release a statement saying he is not guilty. He has nothing to hide. He is 100% innocent.
We also learn more about why Richard Allen was arrested in the first place when the probable cause affidavit is released to the public.
That is what the public is going to be basing their initial opinion as to innocence or guilt on.
We learn that the evidence shows that Abby and Libby are dropped off at the trails at 1:49 p.m. And we already knew that Libby's video recording that man on the bridge happened at 2:13, just 24 minutes later.
We learn that the video has one of the girls saying the word gun. We also find out about some physical evidence. An unspent, unfired .40 caliber round is found in between the bodies.
They then were had examined by a Indiana State Trooper who had some training with tool markings. He gave a subjective opinion that he thought that the gun that they recovered in Richard Allen's home pursuant to the search was a match.
To me, the most damaging piece of evidence that the state of Indiana has against Richard Allen is the unspent round that cycled through his gun, found just 2 feet away from Libby German.
Kristen, just copy and paste this. Try not to retype it. Try that and see if it works. KBF was able to get one to me just now, so let's see if we can get one from you.
He's either the unluckiest guy in the world, or he was there at the scene when those 2 girls were murdered.
The probable cause reveals at least 4 witnesses. 3 teenage girls and 1 adult woman saw someone generally matching the description of the person in Libby's video between 1:26 p.m. and 2:13 p.m., the time that Abby and Libby were encountering that man on the bridge.
And one of those witnesses is seen on surveillance video arriving around 1:46 p.m. And she says she parked her car and then walked out to the bridge where she saw a man standing on the bridge about 50 feet away. She didn't walk onto the bridge. She turned around and walked back in the direction she came. And when she did that, she passed 2 young girls who were walking towards the bridge. And she believes that was Abby and Libby.
Another witness says that she was driving north of the trails that day, and about 2 hours after the abduction, she saw a man in a blue jacket walking in the opposite direction, quote, muddy and bloody.
Just before Richard Allen was arrested in October of 2022.
Okay, if you see a guy walking that's muddy and bloody, why would you not call the police? If I saw a guy walking that I saw blood, I would call the police. Well, I'm a first responder. I'm a firefighter, emergency services chaplain, and first responder. So I would probably ask if he was okay. But normal person should probably, FYI, call the police. If you see somebody with a bunch of blood on them, either they're hurt, and if you're not sure, they've hurt somebody else, and you don't want to get that involved, pick up the phone and call the police. Why was that not done? I get so dang tired of people not wanting to involve themselves, but they'll watch something like that walk right past them. I mean, like, seriously, not that it would have saved the girls, but sometimes that has happened where people have seen somebody that had blood on them or looked like whatever, and they were concerned that something bad had happened, but they didn't want to become involved. People, get your butts involved. It may save a life.
He met with investigators
I can go
again
on
after
preaching.
they had resurfaced his name. And he said, yes, I was there. I was wearing a blue jacket. I was wearing a blue pants. I may have been wearing a hat.
One of the other most damaging pieces of evidence came from Richard Allen in him admitting to being on the trail that day. Think about it. He's admitting to being there from 1:30 until 3:30. And he claims he went there to watch the fish. So how unlucky is this guy that he admits to being present, and his window encompasses the window of time that investigators believe those beautiful girls were murdered?
About 8 months after his arrest, a slew of documents are released. And that's when we find out that Richard Allen has confessed.
His confessions are going to be a major problem for this defense team. We need to have more than that whenever we have a criminal case. A confession alone is not enough. So the state is mounting this case with other pieces of evidence that corroborate what he's admitting to. We haven't heard the confessions yet. We're just aware that prosecutors have alerted the court to the fact that he has made admissions, made them to his wife by way of a jail phone call, and that they plan to introduce that evidence.
So everything we've been hearing up to this point is the theory of the case from the prosecution, from law enforcement. And then, via filings, we start to hear from the defense. And the details that they lay out are like nothing we could possibly have imagined.
Today, like I said, unexpected, out of left field, 130 pages worth of information in just one of the filings that was released. They are pointing the finger in a very specific direction as to who's responsible for this, and it's not Richard Allen. It's some sort of a religious sect/cult that follows.
Okay, I can understand why they were doing that. Do y'all not remember, unfortunately, the way certain things were laid on the victims? It was in symbols that matched this group of people that they're speaking of. I'm trying to get comfortable. Sorry, my back has been giving me hell the last couple of weeks, and I'm trying not to get in a wheelchair. So yeah, that is something that caught my attention is the way that the wood was arranged on the girls.
Odinism. And it was a sacrifice. Wow.
When that thing dropped, as a defense attorney, it blew my mind. I had never seen a filing like that.
My name is Mark Pitcavage. I'm a senior research fellow with the Anti-Defamation League Center on Extremism. The defense argument that Odinism was involved in the murder is largely based on the idea that there were Norse pagan symbols left at the scene of the crime in the form of sticks or branches.
That may be, but my back I have a rheumatoid arthritis, and I also have another medical condition. It's a long thing. I can't pronounce it, but basically my vertebrae are on their own fusing together. So my body is attacking itself. So that's part of this. And then, of course, the stress of my sister's funeral and everything else. Yeah, it's been a tough week. But we're here. Yay.
Or blood patterns. And it's not clear to me that any such symbols were actually left at the scene in the first place. Odinism is one of the branches of white supremacy. There are a number of different types of white supremacy. And it's derived from a religion that is, the easiest way to put it is modern Norse paganism. Modern Norse paganism is the revival of some of the old Scandinavian myths and religious beliefs centered around the ancient Norse gods like Odin and Thor and Freya. Most modern Norse pagans are not racist, they're not white supremacists. The religion as a whole is innocuous, but this one part of it is not so innocuous. It's much more problematic. So at the Center on Extremism, we try and track extremism in a lot of different ways. One of the things that we started doing in 2008 was to track extremist-related murders, where we created a database to track domestic extremist-related murders. Because those allegations were raised, we have been tracking the progress of the case to see if any of them are ever at some point substantiated with evidence. If, and that's a big if, any of the allegations were actually substantiated, then we would certainly add it to our database at that point.
The defense says this theory of the crime was never fully explored by law enforcement and that men they've identified as potential suspects were cleared too easily.
And after making those bombshell claims, the defense is off the case.
Coming up, graphic crime scene photos make their way to YouTube.
Pictures like that are just going to incite and enrage people, and they're going to blame the person that's under arrest.
In October of 2023, word gets out that crime scene photos have leaked, apparently from the office of Baldwin. And what it turns out had happened was that someone who was in his office had taken pictures of the evidence and shared them.
Thankfully, these things didn't make it out to the public en masse. For number one, for the families, like the nightmare of them getting online one day and opening up a picture of their daughter is like beyond words. The other thing is you worry about is if they get out, it destroys Rick Allen's opportunity to have a fair trial. It just does, because pictures like that are just going to incite and enrage people, and they are going to blame the person that's under arrest.
Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin says he's essentially the victim of a theft, but the judge is furious, and she accuses the defense team of being incompetent and negligent.
We've had an
Alrighty,
unexpected
then.
turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Baldwin made an oral motion to withdraw. I granted that oral motion to withdraw, and Mr. Rosie will be submitting a written motion to withdraw, I'm assuming within the next couple of days.
With Baldwin and Rosie off the case, Richard Allen still needs a defense. So Judge Gull appoints two attorneys
I
from
had
her
no
home county
idea
of
that
Allen County.
happened.
She picks Allen County's chief public defender, William Labredo, and Robert Scremin. But that's not the last that we hear of Rosie and Baldwin. They say they were coerced into leaving the case, and they fight to get back on.
So that issue goes to the Indiana Supreme Court, who quickly ruled that the original defense team should have never been removed.
Good morning, Journey to Justice.
79 days after they were appointed, Labredo and Scremin are off the case, and Rosie and Baldwin are back.
I was asked to do a job. I did my job. I was then told two gentlemen are going to take over. It is what it is. My name's William Labredo. I am now Richard Allen's former lead counsel. I don't think Mr. Allen had anything to do with this.
You're a defense attorney, so that's your job to sort of say your client is innocent.
And rarely do I believe it. But in this particular case, I believe it.
Wow.
100%.
That's a drop. KBF, what do you think about that?
Conversations with him, the fact that he lived in this very small community that's not much bigger than a high school. He worked at the CVS in Delphi. The police sketches are hung up in the CVS. The bridge guy picture is in the CVS. And in 5.5 years, no one comes into that store.
That makes sense.
Says that kind of looks like you. I don't know if this has any relevance, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Whoa.
But arrest was made 24, 27 days before a sheriff election.
How would you characterize the case as you know it against Richard Allen?
Well, it's obviously circumstantial. I haven't seen any direct evidence that, other than he admitted that he was on the bridge that day, and we think during the same time frame as the girls were.
There's technically both direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. For example, his confession, that's direct evidence. Witnesses, eyewitnesses seeing him, that'd be direct evidence.
Eyewitness testimony, inherently unreliable in my opinion. They all saw the same person, and you have that many different descriptions. That's
Hey, Melissa Frank.
Rosie and Baldwin,
I'm
in a
with you.
filing, claimed the descriptions attributed to witnesses in the probable cause affidavit are wrong.
So remember the witness who said that she walked out to the bridge and saw a man standing on it, and then she passed what she believes Rabbi and Libby as she was walking back to her car? Well, the defense says that the state left out that woman's description of the man she saw. She described a young man, possibly in his 20s, clean shaven with a boyish look.
That description is actually what led to the second sketch, which was made in February of 2017, but not released until April of 2019.
And the witness who saw a man walking on the road, both muddy and bloody, actually just saw a man who was muddy, according to the defense.
Oh!
Richard Allen's 5'4". So when you're talking about the witness statements.
Why was he muddy?
okay,
Let's go there. Why?
None of them. That would have been the first descriptive thing that I would have said, is that he's really short. Not one of them said that he was a really short guy. And that would have been, like, to me, the first descriptor, and it just didn't happen.
Bradley, Rosie, and Andrew Baldwin also said there's no electronic evidence linking him to the crime scene or the girls, and that there's no DNA of his at the scene. Is that accurate?
Yes, as far as I can tell, yes. Nothing forensically other than this bullet that they claim that they found, that they shot through a
I would love to
barrel.
hear from the jury.
There's no way to compare the markings a bullet projectile shell casing would have fired through a barrel compared to ejection marks. And it was, to my knowledge, about 2 inches underground.
What do you think is the biggest piece of evidence in this case?
There's an alleged confession. That's it to me.
You had not heard of Odinism when it first was floated with regard to this case?
I honestly thought it was hocus pocus. I honestly didn't. I'd never heard of it, and the more I got into it, that's a real thing. It is a real thing, and it's scary. I believe they sacrificed a girl and killed another one.
In addition to pointing the finger at several men who allegedly practice Odinism, the defense says that several of the prison guards in charge of Richard Allen were wearing Odinism patches on their uniform.
What?
You described one of those.
What? Why would a county permit a guard to wear a patch of that sort on their uniform? I'm flabbergasted. I wouldn't even have them working in a prison because of their beliefs and what they could do to the inmates.
Those officers that's mentioned in one of Rosie and Baldwin's filings, Sergeant Jones, who was wearing patches that said "In Odin We Trust" on his Department of Corrections uniform. The judge ordered the warden to make them stop. And then what did you notice?
That Mr. Jones had it tattooed under his right eye. From the best we can tell, it looks a lot like Odin's spear.
It does.
Both sets of Richard Allen's defense attorneys have raised issues about what they call harsh conditions behind bars. Rosie and Baldwin also alleged that Richard Allen's family was threatened if he didn't confess.
There's no
Good
ties
point,
to
love.
this Odinistic cult
Good
whatsoever.
point.
He didn't even know that there was Odinist in Delphi. He had never heard of it.
Up next, did Abby and Libby's killer have help?
One of the major things hanging out there right now about this story is the fact that there are likely other people involved in this crime.
What do y'all think? I'm hearing stuff that I've not heard before, but I didn't follow this very closely because we were in on another trial. But dang. Dang, dang, dang. Maybe we ought to go back and rewatch this trial.
Hopefully, justice for Abby and Libby will mean some closure for their family members. I always say you never get complete closure in a homicide case because there is a void left in your heart that can never ever be filled. But some bit of closure, some bit of justice and peace, knowing that the right person has been held responsible and can't hurt anyone ever again. All that being said, the state of Indiana has mounted quite a case to prove that Richard Allen is that person.
I see a rose in bloom at the sight of you, oh, so priceless.
So this was a song that actually played at her funeral. And just the way that it describes, I see you dressed in white, every wrong made right, or it really makes me think of Abby as angelic. I feel connected to her. It just really makes me think that she's an angel by my side rather than the things that she went through and how she died. There are a lot of things that make me think of her. I got this tattoo of butterflies on my arm, and that was just a huge part of her. She loved butterflies. I think what is important is talking about who they were while they were living. And that's what's most important to me. I really want to make sure that people know that they were good people and that their lives are constantly part of everyone who knew them's lives. True justice would be that there would be no need for justice at all, that it never would have happened, that they never would have been taken from us, that they never would have been treated in that way. For me, there's a piece
I
that
emailed
really
you back.
never will
KBF.
reach
Talk to you later. Thank you for
justice.
listening. Thank you for
One
lurking,
of the major
KBF.
things hanging out there right
Don't
now
forget
about
to
this
subscribe.
story is the fact that there are likely other people involved in this crime. Prosecutor Nick McClelland said that himself. There could be other actors involved. Former Sheriff Tobe Lesenby saying under oath that he believes it would have taken at least 2 people to commit this crime.
And you just have to hope that law enforcement is up to the task because they're putting all their cards on the table with Rick.
See, this is where I had an issue. And by the way, if you are listening, you are new, and if you subscribe in the month of December, even if you haven't said it yet, but you have subscribed in the month of December, because my computer keeps track of that, please say I sub if you subscribed, and you will be entered to win a tumbler from Starbucks. I know I have tumblers to mail out, but with the Christmas mailing and everything right now is so chaotic, I did not want to mail them out right now. So I got the tumblers with names and addresses. They will be mailed out after Christmas to ensure that you get them in a timely manner and they do not get lost in the Christmas mailings. I've already mailed something out and it took 3 weeks to get, which should have taken 4 days. So I'm just trying to be mindful of that. So don't worry. I have not forgotten about you. But for those of you who have already won tumblers, they will be coming. Just waiting to get past all this Christmas hell when it comes to the mailings. Number two, this right here, this is where I had a big problem. And as someone, if I was sitting on a juror, I would really struggle with is how in the world, thank you, Melissa Franks, how in the hell could this guy have done this crime alone with two girls who were in softball, very strong, athletic girls. He's obviously not that athletic. He's got a little bit of limitations in his own get up and go. How did he manage both girls at one time? Because I tell you what, if I'm walking with a friend and somebody grabbed us and he didn't have a good grip on me, I'm out of there. And I'm going to scream. I'm going to go back crazy. And I'm sure the person I'm with is going to go crazy. And supposedly there are people close enough to possibly hear the screaming. So you would have to silence the victims immediately. And one person couldn't do that. So I have a lot of questions on that end. That's where I would struggle as a juror. Is how did he do it alone?
Gallon at this point.
They would have to prove
But
that
we
to
still
me.
have that thing, don't we? Sitting there saying we think that there were more involved. So we have to hope that they're continuing to investigate it.
No, they got their man. They got the conviction. It's put to bed. It's done. It's closed. Wow. He's creepy.
It's easy in all this back and forth and debate about this case. Who did it? Who didn't do it? Who might have done it? It's easy to lose victims.
Zach, I love you. You're great.
I learned
man.
early on and throughout that these girls were the absolute lights in the lives of those who loved them. Abby and Libby were loved. Justice in this case is going to mean different things to different people. I'm not going to presume to define that for those who love them. My definition is a little more traditional. It's arresting and punishing the person or people responsible for this, whoever that may be, and however long that takes.
Okay, y'all. So this is a really good recap of this trial. I really like the recap. Really good job, Court TV. Really appreciate you so much. Melissa Frank, did Andrea think he was innocent? I can't remember now. Sorry. Or the timeline changed during the trial, or was the DNA found on the girl that didn't match Richard? Yes, there's so much there. Yeah. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, this is just one trial that I don't think they got it right at all. And maybe they should have changed the venue on this. I don't know. Who knows what the community was that a part of this? But yes, that is a very interesting. I didn't agree with what little I heard of this. I didn't follow it as close as other people did, but I don't think he did it. Or if he did do it, he didn't do it alone. If he did do it, he was with somebody else. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find some more stuff on him because the sentencing is coming up. Right now we're waiting for the sentencing. That is why we are playing this. I'm going to play this because we're going to play this part, but I have to do a cover up. So give me a split second to get everything lined up and geared up. Why can't I find my, there you go. So big in this, share it. I got to get a banner. I got to do something a little different with my style because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm really blessed and happy that StreamYard has made some changes, but they made some changes to buttons today. And so it's been a little difficult for me. Okay, here we go. Let me get the sound on.
Room in Delphi
I'll be right
about
back.
the latest testimony in the trial. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Jurors in Richard Allen's murder trial and Libby German and Abby Williams' families have seen some really, really awful things this week. The week started with crime scene photos that showed Libby and Abby after their bodies were found on Valentine's Day in 2017. Crime scene investigators were grilled about what they did and what they didn't do. Lauren Mathias with the Hidden True Crime YouTube channel will be here soon to tell us all about what happened. Jurors also heard testimony about Libby German's cell phone. She and Abby were crossing the Monon High Bridge that February 13th in 2017. Libby had actually posted a photo of Abby on Snapchat around 2:05 p.m. crossing the bridge. That photo circulated on social media years ago. The photo showed Abby wearing a gray sweatshirt and red top. When Abby's body was found, she was actually wearing Libby's clothes. Libby also recorded a video of Bridge Guy at 2:13 p.m. Here's the enhanced video released by the FBI. Now, the video that the jurors saw was actually the original video, and it was longer than what I just showed you and wasn't the loop you just watched. The original video is 43 seconds long, and one of the girls can be heard saying something to the effect of, "There's no path down here. We've got to go down here." One reporter tweeted that Abby Williams' mother confirmed that the voice was her daughter's. Fox 59 reported that Libby's phone showed a change in longitude, altitude, and elevation at 2:31 p.m., which would match with the girls being led down a hill and possibly across Deer Creek. A minute later, the phone was no longer moving and didn't move again or ping again, according to a witness's testimony, which casts doubt on a defense theory that the girls were abducted and brought back to the area and killed later. The jury also heard from several witnesses who saw Bridge Guy, and they heard from the pathologist who conducted the autopsies on Abby and Libby. Both girls' throats had been cut. The stories I cover each day here on Crime Fix show you just how scary the world can be. And one of the scariest things that can happen is if you ever get hurt. But I want you to know, if you're ever seriously hurt or in an accident, your case could be worth millions. And that's where our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, comes in. The firm has an army of more than the trial in Delphi.
I don't
each
do
day.
that. Sorry, guys.
Lauren, take me into the courtroom, first of all.
Sorry, my mouse ran out of juice, so I had to go and get the charger so I can continue working with this. I apologize. What, Sensei? I know, good girl. For those of you who don't know, thank you for joining us. I'm AdaKay. I have a dog named Sensei. She's my hearing dog. I'm deaf without my hearing aids. And every once in a while, she comes up and gets loving. So, okay. Here we go.
For the very latest. I know this has to be just excruciating for the family of Libby German and Abby Williams.
It must be excruciating. I actually looked over at them several times to see, and there have been times where Libby's mother's hands are covering her face, and her daughters are consoling her, rubbing her back.
Oh, can I have
are
some
seeing crime
bread?
scene photos, and today we saw autopsy photos.
I would love some bread.
We heard how the girls died. We heard more about their wounds. We saw the wounds. It was very traumatic today in court.
The pathologist, it's my understanding, testified that both girls died from deep slash wounds to their throats. It's just horrific. We know that Libby was found naked and there were sticks over her body, and that Abby was wearing Libby's clothes, which I still don't quite understand. I don't know if the state will ever be able to explain that fact, but there was some discussion about whether or not there was a sexual assault of Abby. So can you tell us a little bit about that testimony of both girls, obviously?
Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find out. I know it's already done. Here we go. Okay, let's flip to this because this is live. My mouse is giving me a trouble. Okay, we got full volume here. We're waiting for WTHR channel 13. Hi, Dianne. Haven't seen you in a while. ADA, Americans Disability Act, American Dental Association, or me. Okay, get your crap together. I want to hear. Come on. Do you know you're live? What? Why did you do that? We want to hear live. I bet they'll come back on in just a second. In the meantime, I'll find something else. But we are waiting to hear his sentencing. I think it's going around.
I can, yes.
It is going around. What he's already gotten, but I want to hear it from them. I want to hear it from them. And then after that, I think we may go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We're ready. We're waiting. There we go. Breaking news.
Good morning,
That's okay.
10:18,
No
and we're
spoilers.
interrupting your regularly scheduled program for breaking news. A sentence in the Delphi murders trial has just been handed down to Richard Allen. He has been sentenced to 130 years. We have a full team on the scene in Delphi. We'll start with Bob C. Bob, 130 years you're hearing. Tell us more, please.
Felicia, I was inside the courtroom sitting right behind Richard Allen when the sentence
Do that in
was handed down
Discord,
by
love.
Judge Francis Gall. The judge said that in her words, she said to Richard Allen, you rank right up there with the most hideous crimes that she has presided over in her 27 years as she's been presiding over criminal cases here in Indiana. For that reason, she sentenced Richard Allen to the maximum amount of time in prison that she could. Like you said, 130 years, 65 years for the murder of Abby Williams, 65 years for the murder of Libby German. She also told the court this morning that there was an extraordinary impact on the families of the two girls. She said it was a generational impact. That is actually a term that was coined by Libby's grandmother in speaking to the judge.
That's a good way to put it.
Saying the impact of these murders is going to last for generations, not only for their family, but also for this community here in Carroll County. Judge Francis Gall said these families will deal with your carnage forever, as she looked directly at Richard Allen. At that point, she said, you sit there and continue to just roll your eyes at me. And it was moments after that she announced the maximum sentence that she can impose. Now, we should point out there were actually 4 murder charges against Richard Allen, 2 for the murders of Abby, 2 for the murders of Libby. Under Indiana state law, an individual can only be sentenced for murdering an individual once. So therefore, counts 1 and 2, those were dismissed by the judge. Counts 3 and 4, again, account each of murder against Abby, and the murder of Libby. Those are what the judge ended up sentencing Allen for here this morning. He will now be assigned a public defender. The prosecutor, Nick McLeland, asked the judge to seal the autopsy photos and the crime scene photos moving forward. And those photos were a big part of this morning's
Yeah, I think
hearing.
they should be sealed.
The families of Abby and Libby really lashed out against the defense team, saying that they allowed, through recklessness, for those photos to be leaked online, causing tremendous harm to the families moving forward. And they asked the judge to really take that into consideration as well. The judge was able to take some mitigating factors into consideration when she handed down the sentences. She said that she would take into consideration that Richard Allen has no previous criminal history, but she said based on the heinous nature of the crimes, she did not give that a lot of weight. She did not give any weight to the circumstances involving what the defense had asked the judge to consider, his previous military service, and putting him behind bars would cause a hardship on his family and on Richard Allen's wife. The judge said any time that someone is put behind bars, that is a hardship to the family, so she would not take that into consideration. She did say simply the horrific nature of the crimes really played a big impact in her decision to give the maximum 130 years. Now, before the judge announced her sentence, we did get to hear from family members of the victims. We heard from Carrie Timmons, that is Libby's mother. She said that this has been absolute hell for Abby and Libby's families and friends over the last 8 years. She said she was left with a literal hole in my soul. She said she still struggles daily with guilt and anxiety. And she said, and I'll quote here, "I'll never understand how you were able to get away with this for so long," speaking directly to Richard Allen. The grandparents of both Abby and Libby also spoke to the court, at times speaking directly to Richard Allen. They said that they cannot forgive him at this point, that they hope in the future they'll be able to find that forgiveness. But right now they still sit with a tremendous amount of pain that they say will never go away. We will certainly have much more about what was said in court, about very powerful impact statements. We are expecting perhaps for the families to come out and speak with the media. We know that Indiana State Police are going to speak with the media. We expect the prosecution team to speak to the media now that Judge Francis Gall has lifted what has been a gag order for more than a year. At the very end of the hearing this morning, she said that she was officially lifting that gag order, which means now that we can hear from the parties in the case, the prosecution, the defense, the families who have not been able to speak to us throughout the course of this trial and really for more than a year now leading up to the trial. So again, we will bring you the statements that we hear from all the parties involved, and we will have more about what happened in the courtroom coming up at noon and throughout the day here on 13 News. Felicia.
But we have just a few more questions before you go. What was the reaction in the courtroom when this sentence was handed down?
Certainly not any reaction of surprise at all. The families did ask for Judge Gall to impose the maximum sentence, which is exactly what she did. I think a lot of legal observers and those of us who have been following this case all along expected that maximum sentence to be handed down. There was no reaction whatsoever from Richard Allen or from the defense team. The defense team, Felicia, didn't really say anything. They submitted a memo a couple days ago. They told the judge, we're going to let that memo speak for itself. And in that memo, they said, we're not really going to spend a lot of time trying to convince you to limit the sentence, because at this point, the defense team is putting their stock in the appeals process. They say we are going to appeal, and at appeal, we expect that we will get a fair appeal. They've accused throughout the trial the judge of not being impartial, and they believe that they may have a better chance to be able to get all of this reversed once the case does go to the Indiana Court of Appeals.
Okay, we did know yesterday that they did not plan to speak. They did not plan to offer any words. Have there been any signs of remorse from Richard Allen throughout this process? You've been in the courtroom since day one.
So it's a good question, Felicia, because, we heard during the trial that Richard Allen, in speaking with the psychologist at the prison and in some of the things that he wrote to the warden and said to some of the guards and other inmates in prison.
Hello, it's Britt.
According to statements that he made, confessions, he wanted to apologize to the family. So far, there has been no apology. And in fact, Richard Allen and his defense team maintain that he is innocent, that he did not commit these crimes. And despite more than 60 incriminating statements that he made behind bars, they say those statements were coerced. They say that he was suffering from psychosis at the time that he made those statements and that he did not commit these crimes. Of course, a jury determined otherwise, and they believed the state's position that Richard Allen was thinking clearly when he made all of those statements. So whether those statements should have even been admitted at all and presented to the jury, that's one of the issues that we expect Richard Allen's defense team will bring up on appeal.
Heard about what a timeline for an appeal could look like.
Y'all, please leave your DNA.
Well, essentially, that appeal could be filed later on this afternoon if a defense team wanted to do that. But
please like and
in court
subscribe.
today, after she told Richard Allen that he was being sentenced to 130 years in prison, she asked if he wanted the judge to appoint public defenders for his appeal. He responded that he did. Traditionally, it would not be the same attorneys representing a client on appeal as during the trial. We suspect there might be the possibility that Richard Allen would want the same attorneys to represent him before the Court of Appeals. That would be somewhat unusual, but it is at least a possibility. We will wait to see who might be appointed and whether or not there might be the same attorneys. I do not think that that is something that Judge Francis Gall would choose for Richard Allen to have the same attorneys, but that decision will not be made by her.
Okay. And then you mentioned that the gag order has been lifted. Do you anticipate hearing from any other folks who have participated in this trial that we haven't necessarily heard from before? Any
Especially when
signs
there's
that
money
the
being
jury,
paid
members
to
of the
be
jury
talked
could speak, or
to.
that we could have
Excuse
any
me.
witnesses come out with more details? Any speculation on that?
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of talking on this case.
I don't have speculation on that. Now that the gag order is lifted, it opens the possibility that we could hear from any of the players involved. Law enforcement, there was only one witness who spoke today, and that was Jerry Holman, who is a lead investigator for Indiana State Police. He had some very strong statements that we heard as he took the stand today. He said that law enforcement put their hearts and souls into this case. And he said, I believe that Richard Allen is a danger to society because he has a lack of remorse, and that he used, in Jerry Holman's words, Richard Allen used religion to manipulate the people in his life as it pertained to this case. So we expect we're going to hear quite a bit from law enforcement here over the course of the next hour or two now that they are allowed to speak. In fact, they're going to have a press conference here that should be starting in just a little while. As far as other players, as far as Richard Allen's family, by the way, his wife and mother, who have been here throughout the entire trial, they were not in court today. And we know that in speaking with the defense attorneys, that's not because they didn't want to be here to support him, but because Richard Allen asked for his family not to be here for the sentencing today. So whether or not we could hear from Richard Allen's families, whether or not the families of Abby and Libby are going to speak out, we don't know for sure, but we expect that they're going to. And we should point out that as part of their victim impact statements today, they spoke over and over again about their appreciation and gratitude to law enforcement, to the prosecutor and to the prosecution team, to the entire community for their love and support that they've received throughout this entire process. I anticipate they may want to reiterate those statements again directly to the community and to the people who they are so grateful for their help. So speaking publicly and on camera would give them a chance to do that later today.
Okay, Bob Siegel, we know that you just got this information and you brought it to us as soon as possible. And we know that there's still an active scene to kind of work and kind of get the lay of the land. We appreciate you standing out in the cold and the snow to bring us this information. Bob Siegel reporting live in Carroll County Courthouse in Delphi. We will check back in. We know we have rest of our team members also out there reporting. Let's recap. We just received this breaking news into our newsroom. Richard Allen has been sentenced to 130 years in the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. We know that the gag order has been lifted. We also have heard about the reaction in the courtroom from Bob Siegel saying that it wasn't much of a reaction from the defense side or from Richard Allen, and that his family was not present, as that was a request from Richard Allen specifically. We will continue, of course, to cover this. We're going to be streaming live at an expected news conference with the girls' families and the prosecutor. We're told that that should be happening shortly. You can watch that live on WTHR+. All right. So we are going to bring you that. Here's a live look at where that press conference will be. We have a crew there as well monitoring that. We're going to have more on 13 News at noon, which is coming up in less than an hour and a half. And we're going to have much more on the Delphi debrief tonight on WTHR+. We want to get you back to your regularly scheduled program. But again, Richard Allen just...
Yes, he just got a whole crap load of time. There are a lot of people who are on the fence about this situation here, and I'm with you on it. My whole hang up on this, and it's my own personal hang up on this case, is the fact that how did he do it by himself? These are healthy softball playing girls. They're fairly strong for their size, athletic. I don't understand how this man could have done it by himself. I think if he is guilty, he did it with somebody else, and I want to know who that somebody else is. So that's my humble opinion. Anything from a hungry guy. Who's hungry? I'm not hungry yet. I have lost 20 pounds in the last 2 weeks. Don't recommend the way I've had to do it. Yes, by the way, Zach and Gabby, and Zach and a couple of people, Zach and a lot of people have some weird, quirky ways of saying, hey. Haley Mounds. I mean, they have a love-hate relationship. If he did it at all, he had to have somebody help him. So, yeah, but I don't care how big you are. You've got two girls, young girls, athletic girls, who it's not like coming after me and somebody like me. I mean, I can't run. I have no ACL in one leg and one knee and torn meniscus in the other. I can't run to save my own life. But big guy or not, how in the world could he have controlled two girls so quickly and so quietly is my question. That's what I want to know. How did he do it? But that's the way it is. So for me, that's kind of where I stand on this. Even with the lead shooter, let's not use the G word, lead shooter, pew pew. Even with any of that, there was no certain. I don't know if my memory is correct. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. There were no lead holes found in the victims, correct? Were they pew-pewed or not? I don't remember. He is 5'4". He's shorter than me. I'm 5'5". Yeah, a lot of people believe that. But even with the lead shooter, there was no evidence of that, was there? I didn't think I don't recall hearing any evidence of a lead shooter. even though there were lead found. And there supposedly there were people walking in that area, and where it's located, if a lead shooter was used, it would have been heard. Yeah, he looks bigger in the video, but that's just angles. I mean, if you hold the phone down here and take a picture of somebody, it's gonna. Yes, but the way they were unalived, I just don't understand how he did it. Well, they can mention it because they saw a handle of something. I mean, even though, well, and there may have been some people have a license to carry. Doesn't mean I did it. You know, just because they thought they saw something doesn't mean it was. I don't know. I am so sorry. I cannot quit yawning this morning. Gosh, Lord have mercy on me. It's one of those mornings where you just can't. The whole thing is crazy. The whole thing is just crazy. Every case is crazy, Gabby. Every case is crazy. So that's the end of that, y'all. Yeah, they could have complied to a point, but if he is unaliving one person, he's got his hand on one person, controlling the person and unaliving that one person. The other person could have ran. They're not going to stand still. I can't imagine, especially a girl who runs in softball and as athletic as they're saying they were, would have run. Would they not have? I'm trying to figure that out. Would they have not have run the second person while the other one is being unalived? I can't imagine them just standing there going, okay, I'm next. I'm just going to wait my turn. I don't know. I don't know. I struggle with it. So that's where we are here. By the way, we have a lot of people watching today we've never had before. Thanks for joining us. Please click the button. We've only got 16-ish likes, and we've had almost 40 people watching at one time. And we are doing a Starbucks tumbler giveaway. It doesn't cost you anything just to hit the subscribe button and say, I subbed. If you hit the subscribe button and say, I subbed, we will be giving away a Starbucks tumbler on December 31st. Oh, Gabby. I'm not so sure. Oh, I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent. I'm just saying I think there was help. I think if he did it, there is some help because of his size. I mean, because of the two girls, him, I don't know. He has a get up and his go. I don't know. All right. So what we're going to do, thank you everybody who hopped on and watched. I know some people will be going to work and doing whatever they need to do. And I just want to say thank you before you leave. Please come back and join us again. We greatly appreciate you. I would like to hop on over to Judge Boyd's court. If anybody likes Ms. Boyd, please give me some thumbs up. Oh, my ex-mother-in-law came and visited yesterday to see my adult children for Christmas, and she actually noticed my weight loss. I was like, girl, thank you very much. I'm going to get my red back on for Christmas. I want my red for Christmas. There we go. I like that better. I am so glad that Discord has made some good changes for me. I mean, not Discord, StreamYard has made some good changes for me. I've thought about hopping over to another system, but right now I'm pretty good. So let me see. Judge Boyd. We've got a lot of Zoom going on in Judge Boyd's courtroom today. Why? Okay, we're going to join here.
They shut down. So Mr. Robbins is present.
Her computer system is shut down. She's been struggling with her computer system. Struggling very hard with her computer system.
And all right, Mr. Robbins, if you can come down, please.
Yeah, that's, hey, I don't care how you lose it, as long as it's safe.
All right, we're going to go on the record. The court is calling 2022 CR 11724 State versus Jordan.
How much
Luke
pounds
Robbins.
per
Could I have parties
stone?
announced for the record for the state,
Eric Rodriguez and Raymond Saldana for the state.
for the defense?
Keith Hampton for Mr. Robbins.
And are you Mr. Robbins?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're here. The court had heard evidence.
I'm not telling you how many
on the
stones I
defense's
weigh.
Motion for new trial and the defense's motion to unseal juror identification. The court reviewed all of the documents that were submitted by both parties. The court reviewed the case law that was submitted as well. With regards to unsealing of the juror's record, that will be denied. With regards to motion for a new trial, that will be denied. Is there anything else from either side?
No.
All right.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
All right, thank you. Then the record will be closed.
Oh, no, I'm not telling you my stones. I'm not telling you my stone count.
Mr. Hampton,
Yes.
did you need to speak with your client?
No.
All right, thank you.
Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not sharing my stone count with you guys. Sorry.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Judge, maybe excuse me.
Yes, you may be excused.
ADA Eric.
All right, thank you, Judge.
American
Thank you.
Disability Act.
Thank
So
you.
he's there for what reason? Why was the American Disability Act attorney on board on that one? That's interesting. Wait a minute. We
Dave.
never see that.
For the defense.
Keith Hampton for Mr. Robbins.
Assistant attorney, I'm giving you guys a hard time. I'm skimming. Assistant district attorney. Ah, yay! They got it back up. I don't know what purse that looks. I don't know my purses that well. Everybody's asking me what purse that she has, and I don't know.
Clause number 2019 CR 4331W and Court of Appeals number
Zach.
04240032 CR.
You're that much?
Jessica Muriel versus the state of Texas. And could I have party announced for the record, please?
Judith Wemmert, I'm here for Miss Carrillo.
And are you Miss Maria?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Jessica Murillo.
All right, the questions I'm going to ask you is in
Zach, you
regards
don't weigh
to,
that much.
questions from the Fourth Court of Appeals.
Yes, ma'am.
The first thing is, do you desire to continue with your appeal?
No, ma'am.
All right, so are you withdrawing your request to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And have you had ample time to discuss with your attorney the nature of the appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Attorney Wemmert, is there anything you would like placed on the record?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Miss Murillo filed this notice of appeal through her previous attorney, Adrian Pettis, the same day, on or about the same day she was sentenced in this court. And what she understood the appeal might be able to do for her is have this court reconsider the sentence and hopefully reduce it. I've explained to her that's not how an appeal to an appellate court would work in her situation.
Okay.
She
I accept
understands
that.
that. We also discussed that her 5-year sentence would mean she would have to serve 1/4 of that before she's eligible for parole. And her concern was that she really didn't think she could do 5 years for lots of personal reasons. But she's realized now that after about a
Honey
year
boo boo, you
and
don't
2
have a
months,
choice.
she's eligible, which is probably pretty soon. So she's pretty happy about that. So I've explained all of that to her. And so, yes, I'm in agreement that she understands what's going on and no longer wants to pursue the appeal.
All right, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Ferguson, if you will do a order sheet, and if you will put the appellate court cause number on it at the top, and also the trial court cause number. And then what we'll do is, if you can write in that she's withdrawing her appeal, Marco, you can swear her in for that, and then she can sign off on it. All right?
All right, great.
All right,
Thank you,
thank
Judge.
you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm not going.
Y'all. Zach, my son, you and my son are the same height, or my son might be just a tad taller. I think he's
Prepare a
more
quick
like
record on that hearing we just
6'4"-ish,
had,
could
so
be
I
as
can
much as
attach it to,
6'5".
This one or the one? This one. Oh. Okay. And if it could be certified, please. Okay. It is. Just one moment. It is WEMMERT. And the first name is Judith. MURILLO. Judge, can I borrow that? Yes, let me get that to you. Yeah.
Hey, you have notes on square people. We're gonna.
Yes.
And good morning.
Oh,
And I want to know, beyond the Ohio State Buckeyes, my nephew is a athlete with the Baton Bobcats of Ohio University.
Okay, now you just saw my big lard butt. Oh, you saw my lard butt. I gotta fix these lights. They're driving me crazy.
And today, they're playing in the staff DNA Cure Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. So this would be the only Ohio jersey that I really.
Oh, I cannot believe. You know what? But I'm gonna give him a pass because
It's game day.
he's doing it for a family member, and it's game day. But how the Cincinnati Bengals doing?
You know, do you keep escalating to every Ohio team just to cut me?
Jumping in my ears. You see how I did that? How they doing?
I think we're doing better than the Saints.
Ooh. But at least we have good home cooking.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not wearing my hearing
I don't
aids.
know what they're serving up in Ohio. I joke. Yes, please.
So I'm not wearing
Yes,
my
and then have them sign off on
hearing
it.
aids. I had to
Thank
get new
you.
batteries put in them, and I didn't take the time to do that. I gotta find
just
batteries.
The, regular oath.
Yeah.
Gone over the paperwork picture.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I go through batteries like
But,
crazy.
Daryl, that is one place I haven't been. I have to go to Ohio. Will they let me in?
Nah, you don't want to go there, do you?
Well, let me put it this way. If I mention your name, will they let me in? Or have you done something in Ohio
there
where
you
they
go.
say?
Roundabout Buckeye. And I was respectfully asking, not holding any grievance against me.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this. The one Buckeye that truly has my heart is your mom. Yeah. His mom is so awesome.
Sorry.
But seriously, Darren, what is Ohio's state food? If I were to go to Ohio, what should I have to eat? Okay.
I was going to say something, but I won't.
Local staples, Scotland, Chile, etc. I like a little variation, like personally myself. Heavily German influence in those areas.
You know what?
It's not unique to Ohio, it's a region. And absolutely, so you go back there, you have to get excited.
But I will tell you,
see how that
Darryl, the
works.
next time for Fiesta, Vashon, for Fiesta, you know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to do First We Feast challenge. First We Feast. The hot ones.
Okay.
We're gonna have to do that challenge.
The what?
I just had to come by.
What challenge?
All right. Hey, if I don't see you, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
It's not a God, Merry Christmas to your mom and all.
All right, thank you. Have a good one, Darryl. John, every time he comes in, I have to tease him about the Ohio State Buckeyes.
She's big in college football. Big in college football.
Yes.
This is titled an order, and I think that.
Well, no, it shouldn't be order. It's just for her to say that she is withdrawing her. I know we have the record and the court report is having the record prepared, but I always like to be overly cautious. So it's just, you can use the whiteout.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's up in my system. Just
all right, awesome. Yeah, just deduct order. I mean,
Maybe
remove
put
order. And then,
defendant statement or appellant statement.
all right.
Okay, I just wanted to make
No,
sure.
no problem.
So that 70 grand.
What is that other judge's name? The one that wears the bow tie? Why can't I remember? Oh, there's a big college game this weekend. Oh, who's playing? Pray tell, who is playing? Boy, she's got a quiet courtroom today.
Maybe I want to.
Okay, well, guess no more Judge Wood. What was the name of the other judge? Fletcher, thank you. I am pulling a brain cramp. I want to go there. Let's see if he's live today. So this is his channel. Videos. Okay, he's not live today, so $18 one guy's. Oh, let's do this one.
Come up, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Nealon is in Cancun until Monday next week, Judge, so he's not available this morning.
I
So I'm kind
understand.
of filling in. I have
Love
had a chance
him.
to look at this violation report regarding Miss Blows. I'm assuming that's our issue here today. Spoken with Mr. Jones about that.
Absolutely.
Pressed upon him the need for perfection here.
This is no tolerance. Absolutely no tolerance, because we've had one issue after the other. Testing positive for here, doing that over there. We've literally let you go over and over and over. And there's absolutely no excuse for the missed blows. How many missed blows do we have?
Missed blows.
That's 19, Your Honor. That's seven, within that 7 or 8. But Judge, I would ask if possible, as I'm not the lead on this case, and I know Dustin has had history with the court and Mr. Jones here on this case, if you would consider holding on the consideration of this matter until he returns on Tuesday of next week. So that he can
I'm
do-
sorry, Ben, I can't. I have to know, you have to know that we mean business. I'm not here to toy with you and play games with you. Know what the expectation is in this court. You've been with me for as long as we've had. You're over there.
Because I have a cold, y'all, cold weather. I apologize. So can I please speak on the breathalyzers?
No. You know what the expectation is. You have 19 missed tests. That's it. I'm sorry, Ben, I can't. You're here in his stead. You're a capable and outstanding lawyer. I have the utmost respect for you, but 19 missed tests are 19 missed tests. And I've been telling him since the absolute beginning, there's just no tolerance.
Please,
No.
But to his credit, Your Honor, we have no positive UAs. He's been here on weekly UAs, so there's no indication that he's using this to obfuscate.
Look at the bailiff. Look at the bailiff
test.
Handcuffed.
And he is blowing
Coming in
outside
behind
the
you.
window, so
Here
we
we
don't
go.
know what he's doing.
There he goes.
God,
Oh,
sir, I go to sleep at 8 o'clock every night, sir. It's just the 10 o'clock
snagged
ones,
it.
and I get my 5 o'clock one first thing in the morning, Your Honor.
And you come here and you ask.
Oh, they just told me about this last week in pre-trial over there, and they said that I had a 45-day miss.
You have 19 missed blows, dude. Covering the camera.
Please, Honor. I will do anything. I'll even go on that drug, Anklemon. I'll do anything, Your Honor. I'm really trying here. I swear to God, I will do anything you want me to do. If you just please let me stay free. I swear to God, Your Honor, I'm really trying here. Please, Your Honor. It's just, I don't even drink.
From the 15th of November, you have been skipping tests. You have been to this court.
I go to sleep at 10 o'clock and I still did the ones later on when I do wake up. And they told me this just last week, Your Honor. I swear to God. I swear on everything I love.
You know.
Please give me a chance, Your Honor.
Testing schedule is, and I've given you one
I started
pass after the other. He goes with you. No.
Oh my God.
Your Honor, may we discuss setting a new bond?
Of course.
Oh my gosh. Why? Please, I'm trying here. I'm trying to do everything.
Goes with you.
Oh my gosh.
Bond is at 5,001 now because of the prior violations. I'll now set it at 10,000.
I'll be right back.
I'm sorry, Ben, but he's tested positive literally over and over and over. He continues to test positive for marijuana. When I've told him to stop, he's tested positive for opiates. He's tested positive for this. Now he's skipping blows. He has obscured the camera as well?
It's not necessarily that he's obscured the camera, but it's too dark to view. It doesn't mean that there's.
It's the same thing. If we can't see you in the camera, then you're fooling. And I'm done with the fooling. That's it. I know that Dustin's gonna be pissed, but I mean, I've got it in black and white. And Dustin knows that it's no tolerance.
Consider 75 to judge for
Okay, Ben. Okay. Great. But he has to know that we mean business, man. If I let him go now, I'm enabling, and I'm not going to do that. I can't. But fine. Because.
Visit PC, Your Honor. I have some questions.
Oh, you picked up a new case. I'm sorry, I'm just getting wind of this now. I didn't realize this. He just picked this up.
My client or the person?
Yeah, him. Picked up an interference 2 days ago.
That's what I'd like to revisit.
Yeah, of course. So you were on felony probation for a very serious case, evading arrest in a motor vehicle, which carries up to 10 years in prison. Now you've picked up a new case. Greg, I got to tell you that I don't know how much you know, but I have quite a bit of history with Mr. Zenon here. In fact, within the last...
Forgive me. I'm going to roll that back. I want to see the end of that. Okay. Begging, please, sir. Please, sir. Don't take me away.
Oh,
please give me a chance, Your Honor.
Testing schedule is, and I've given you one pass after the other. He goes with you. No.
Oh my God.
Your Honor, may we discuss setting a new bond?
Of course.
Oh my gosh. Why? Please, I'm trying here. I'm trying to do everything.
Goes with you.
Oh my gosh.
Bond is at 5,001 now because of the prior violations. I will now set it at 10,002. I'm sorry, Ben, but he's tested positive literally over and over and over. He continues to test positive for marijuana. When I've told him to stop, he's tested positive for opiates. He's tested positive for this. Now he's skipping blows. He has obscured the camera as well?
It's not necessarily that he's obscured the camera, but it's too dark to view. It doesn't mean that like there's.
It's the same thing. If we can't see you in the camera, then you're fooling. And I'm done with the fooling. That's it. I know that Dustin's gonna be pissed, but I mean, I've got it in black and white. And Dustin knows that it's no tolerance. Okay, Ben. Okay, great. But he has to know that we mean business, man. If I let him go now, I'm enabling, and I'm not gonna do that. I can't, but fine. Because
Visit PC, Your Honor. Have some questions.
Oh, you picked up a new case. I'm sorry, I'm just getting wind of this now. I didn't realize this. He just picked this up.
My client or the person?
Yeah, him. Picked up an interference 2 days ago.
That's what I'd like to revisit.
Yeah, of course. So you were on felony probation for a very serious case, evading arrest in a motor vehicle, which carries up to 10 years in prison. Now you've picked up a new case. Greg, I got to tell you that I don't know how much you know, but I have quite a bit of history with Mr. Zenon here. In fact, within the last 2.5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now he's on his 10th case. Specifically,
what?
An unlawful carrying of a weapon, another unlawful carrying of a weapon, another unlawful carrying of a weapon, another unlawful carrying of a weapon, a felony possession of marijuana, felony assault of a pregnant person. And I guess all that worked into a deal where he got on probation for an evading. And now we have.
Right, but all those cases were dismissed, correct, Your Honor? Okay.
Pursuant to the, I guess.
I understand.
That we literally had one after the other, like a rung on a step ladder. One after the other. So let's do probable cause.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. I just wanted to give you a heads up of how much history we have with Mr. Zenon, because it's a lot.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
Sure.
But be that as it may.
I'm not going to hold, I've never will hold anything against him. So let's go.
On December 3rd, 2024, officers were
But I
dispatched to
can't
the
take it as a
HEB
reference.
located at 4955 State Highway 6 regarding a disturbance in progress. Officers received 4 calls, all from witnesses who stated the defendant was arguing with and assaulting a female. While en route to the location, officers observed the couple at the intersection about
I really like
0.1
them.
miles away from the HEB where the original call was
Observed what?
located. They saw the couple at the intersection.
Okay, they saw. Okay.
Yes, Judge.
My son just came in and he goes, "Oh, he's a good judge."
The defendant was uncooperative with officers. The defendant advised he and the complainant were involved in a verbal altercation and stated he threatened her, saying he would slap her. When officers advised the defendant that he was in custody for an outstanding warrant, he got upset and began to yell. Officers located a clear plastic bag containing 3.6 grams of marijuana. The defendant refused to comply with officers' commands to sit down and would not place his legs and feet inside the vehicle. The defendant pushed back against the officer's hand with his chest when he attempted to help him into the vehicle, pushed his legs straight and applied force toward officer's hand in an attempt to stop him from placing his legs inside the vehicle, and then used the bottom of his foot against the bottom of the door frame to further resist. The defendant refused to speak with officers and would not cooperate with the investigation. All witnesses on scene heard the defendant threatened to hit CW, and another witness stated she observed the defendant push the complainant in the chest and face with 2 open hands. He does have an active felony warrant from the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon
But he has an open ag assault somewhere else too?
in Fort Bend County, Judge.
My understanding is it's
And
an
it was
older
open
case.
warrant at that time?
Yes, Judge.
May I respond to all this, Your Honor?
Sure.
No.
Please.
Where's the interference? Okay.
Well, they're putting him in a car and he's like going plank.
It's not interference with public duties. If they're sitting there saying they have a marijuana charge they could have done, is it a resisting? Maybe,
So,
but it's not an interference with the public duties. They said he didn't talk. He doesn't have to talk to them. Like, and they're
I understand
and
that.
they're a 0.1 mile away from the location.
So-
for what?
Well, okay, I get that, but so we have what we have. We've got a disturbance at HEB. Cops go there.
Okay.
They start to talk to him, and I guess at that point says, "Hey, man, I'm going to slap her." So at that point, I mean, that's what we have,
Okay.
right, Mr. Zenon? There's always two sides to the story. I get it. This is just probable cause. It doesn't mean that you're guilty of this offense. It's just probable cause. That, in and of itself, is it enough to continue an investigation? And it is, because it's a potential terroristic threat, right? So they have enough to go forward to investigate. They start investigating, and then they find that you have a felony open warrant. And then they find there was something else was there another warrant that you said?
It's the aggravated assault, but Judge, I also would like to point out that
But they end up putting him in the car. And at that point, he basically just goes plank like this for them being unable to effectuate an arrest.
And Judge,
Don't think that's an interference?
I don't. I mean, I think the intent of the law within itself is that if you're interfering with their investigation for something else. He did not interfere with anything.
Hold on, let's read the code. Let's read it, because I mean, there's no better way. Let's read it.
Hold on.
I'll give you. All right. Let's pull up the code.
Intake could have taken some other things, but
Well, certainly they could have taken a whole myriad of. I mean, you're lucky they didn't charge you with assault of a peace officer. There's a whole host of other charges that they could have put on. You know, if
they didn't
hit,
they took the one that I do not believe applies here.
Let's read the code. Okay. Let's see what the code says, because you know there's multiple ways that a charge can, you know, that you can charge someone with facts, right? There's multiple ways that can.
I like the fact that he's pulling the code. He's not above that.
3815.
Hey, the mouse, I'm putting on Carol Wonder Home before he makes me put it. Oh, ours was, oh God, ours
That's
was
okay, don't
Thomas the Train, Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder. Other than SpongeBob SquarePants, by far.
You're right. It could have been like a resisting, you know, but. Okay, you ready? A person commits an offense if the person with criminal negligence interrupts, disrupts, impedes, or otherwise interferes with, number one, a peace officer while the peace officer is performing a duty or exercising authority imposed or granted by law. Two, a person who is employed to provide emergency medical services, a firefighter. Number three, for an animal under supervision. Now,
Look what she was carrying around.
so I guess it's a
Where's your
person,
face?
they
There's your
interrupts, disrupts, impedes, or otherwise interferes with, number one, a peace officer while the peace officer is performing a duty or exercising authority imposed or granted by law.
That is the vaguest thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, come on.
It is. I agree
Okay,
with
so
you.
that the cop can claim anything is interfering with public duties. I mean, constitutionally, that is the vaguest thing I've ever heard of.
Judge, that's the statute, that's the penal code.
You'll find no argument with me, right? It is pretty vague.
Yeah.
It is.
He's got bigger issues. I mean, they should have taken the other charges, my whole point. I mean,
She stays
he's
right there,
disrupting
my feet,
the
90% of the
officer
day.
while he's trying to discharge a duty, right? The officer's trying to arrest him and put him in the car, and he's not letting him.
Okay, guys, my daughter brought me a breakfast taco. I'm going to go eat that. And I will be right back. We're going to let this roll. Please don't go anywhere. I appreciate you staying and being here with me, but I shall return shortly.
Him do it.
I mean, that's assuming they even had the right to do that. I mean, he's 0.1
It's an
miles
open
away.
felony warrant.
They didn't even know about the warrant. They didn't know about the warrant till after. So, I mean, that comes after all of this.
They're saying, go ahead. I didn't even give you a chance to talk.
No, you're okay,
Please.
Judge. They were investigating the assault, Judge, is what the threat that he admitted to making. So it was an active investigation, and then when they were detaining him, he was resisting arrest, is what it seems like. And that's why it was charged with interference with public servant.
And there were also 4 911 calls that were made about this couple arguing. I mean, that's what they were investigating.
And the witnesses all
They
described
put him,
the
I guess, did they put him under arrest at the time when he said that he was making that threat?
And with being
I mean, did they
0.11.
have the authority to arrest at that time? Right?
So I think it was during their investigation, the defendant admitted to threatening, that he would slap Miss Clark.
And it's at that point they start to put him under arrest?
At that point, they ran him through the NCIC and they found that there was an active warrant, and then they informed him that he was in custody.
Okay, then that's a resisting from what they're using to say he's pushing back or
But
pushing.
remember,
That's
I
a
mean,
resist.
it-
That's not
it
interference
could
with
be-
public duties.
But it could be that a set of facts can be multiple charges, right? So it could be resisting, but it could also theoretically be interfering with what he's trying to effectuate with, which is an arrest. It's a duty that he's performing. He's performing the duty of an arrest.
But again, it's vague. If the officer didn't put in the report, he's not saying in the dim summary, you are under arrest.
Well, I mean, it's
okay. Well, I mean, but so
I mean, we don't know. I mean,
okay. I'm just saying.
Well, if he says he's under arrest, but I mean, damn, it's all but clear.
I mean, this is.
We also don't have the offense report yet.
I don't care. I mean, but I think that there's enough. He places him in custody, right? He's going to arrest him, starts putting him in the car, and dude goes plank.
I know, but I don't have the video.
I've
I
shared the
think that
videos with
remember,
You're right. I haven't had a
guys,
chance.
this is a very low burden. This is probable cause. This is not beyond a reasonable doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt is a different standard. This is just to see if there's enough to go forward. And according to this, you're disrupting, allegedly, you're impeding, and you're otherwise interfering with him trying to arrest you and putting you in the car. A person can interfere with duties in multiple ways. It's not just one way. Like you go over there and someone else tries to stop an arrest from happening. I don't know. I think that there's enough.
Whisper to me because I want to know what you're about to say.
And if you want time, you guys can go back and talk.
Okay. Well, I got to say.
3 times to search me.
Can I have a moment to look at the video here? He's telling me a whole separate fact pattern.
But I need to give them time to be able to look at it too. I mean, it's noon. Why don't we do this? Why don't we roll it to Monday and we can, I'll find it now. We can reapproach Monday morning or tomorrow even. And if you find, if you find a completely set of different facts than to what they're saying on video, I'm all ears. I'm always all ears. I'm always willing to rehear probable cause at any time. I mean, it's not the be all end all. But for now, what they're telling me, if it in fact is the case, there's enough for probable cause to go forward. Is there enough beyond a reasonable doubt? I don't know. But be that as it may, Okay, it looks like they didn't give him a PR bond on this.
Okay, so well, then we can
The
address it.
bond right now is set at 2,500.
Okay,
Your bond upstairs is set at 5,000. Tell me about that Fort Bend case. Is it old? Is it new?
Let me check, Judge.
I think it's 2023.
Is it? I don't know. I mean, because looks like you got on probation in October of this year. When you're on probation, dude, on felony probation, you have a freaking halo over your head. You know, you got to be as good as you can. You're facing a lot of time in prison. Have you been to prison before?
Sir. No, sir.
It's not a fun place, you know, and I don't know what we need to do to get your attention, man. In life, if you're with a person that brings the worst out in you, then don't be with that person. There's a gajillion and one fish in the sea, but how can a person get you so?
Attention, Sarah Boone. Attention, Sarah Boone. Did you just hear that? If you're with somebody that brings the worst out of you, don't be with them. Just saying.
So wrapped around your finger to make you, you know, just go. It's like a cancer. When you have cancer, if you don't cut it out, it kills you. This is killing you.
I can contact Fort Bend, Judge,
What's
and get
breakfast?
more information.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there.
Our tortilla.
I'll do whatever you want to do. You want to set tomorrow, Monday?
A little ketchup.
I'll watch it today and come back tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, I mean, if you want. Surely. Do you have it?
We have the camera, the body camera.
I
Put a lot of
just
stuff
shared
in
Okay,
them.
so
They
let's-
shared it. They just shared it with me.
Yeah.
let's roll it to tomorrow. You guys take a look at the
Sausage,
video as
bacon,
well. Be prepared, and then
chorizo,
we can reconvene tomorrow. For
cheese.
purposes of now, I'll find probable cause, and then we
Egg.
can regroup again tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right, Mrs. Zenon. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Everybody has a little bit of their own favorite.
She sent me an email
Very
from,
personalized.
one of
If
the-
anything, have you done for your GED?
And what I did for it,
What have you done?
I went to a class and then I tried to go yesterday. They canceled it and he also,
You went the day before court.
and I also went before.
Judge, she's been going. She's been going before even the last court date, and we you know,
Prove it.
we.
I can take it.
In this life, you are only as good as the proof that you don't have. If you don't have proof, you have nothing. Spoken word means absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Judge, the instructor, I got an email from him that she sent me saying that she's been going to the classes and that class was canceled on the 4th yesterday. But she did, you know, attempt to go to class. So she's been going. She did already take a test, and this is one where she did fail the first test. So she's been working on it. It's not enough.
I mean, here we are. How many resets have we had? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 resets since May. You're now in December. You have had 5 to 6 months. Show me the money. Otherwise, it's not going to go well for you today, Ms. Dixon. Show me. 5 to 6 months.
Look up at the judge and get off your phone. Madam, look up at the judge, get off your phone.
And Judge, this was a case where she was paying for the classes and then she had to then enroll into the free program, which she's been doing for the last little bit.
Look at her. It's like, look up and engage.
Are you playing Candy Crush? What's going on over there?
I'm trying to text her.
Texting who?
The instructor, like what I'm supposed to show you. Cause I don't have no proof, like I don't have nothing.
Tell
that
me
I can-
what have you done?
I went to the class,
Okay. Which class did you go
the
to?
GED resource.
Okay. And what, because the way I understand it, there are different modules that you do. You do science, you do language arts, you do math, you do, and whatever else it may be.
I was on them.
You go through each section, you complete it, take a test, and then when you're done with everything, you take an overall test, and then you get a diploma.
Correct.
That's not.
What have you done?
Basically explaining how everything's gonna go, and I was gonna finish everything else Wednesday when I was gonna go, but the class was
Frankly, my
canceled.
dear, I
Who
don't
is the
give a
provider
damn.
that you have?
His name is,
Grab me a phone number, because I'd like to call them right now.
I have a number for you, Judge.
My camera's all messing up. Hold on. There. That judge is not having it. I'm liking him. Hello, Adair. I dare you to Adair. You don't hand it to the judge. You hand it to the court. They will. Wow, y'all. Let me get my glasses back on. I should have curled my bangs today. They're driving me crazy. I'm still getting used to them, y'all. It's weird when you haven't had them to have them. Thank you, Adair. Oh, look at
Mr.
that look
Jackson?
from that girl. Look at that girl's face.
Yes, my name is David Pleisch.
Oh, my mouse is right. I have to charge my mouse. Sorry. My mouse battery died.
I'm a judge here in Harris County, and I have someone that's with me in our court, and she's doing a program with you guys to try to get a GED. I'd like to confirm that's Coriel Dixon.
Ruh-roh. We're going to have a problem. I smell it. I smell it like I smell my breakfast taco. She's not telling the truth, Your Honor.
So Wednesday and Thursday, and then did you say every other Saturday? Okay. And then, so how does it work as far as getting the diploma? Do you do different classes as far as science, math, and how do you at the end get it? Can I put you, I have her in front of me. Can I put you on speakerphone so that she can hear this as well? Do you mind? Okay, hold on.
Well, I'm here. I guess I got to do something. We'll be right back.
I've got him. Okay, Mr. Jackson?
Order in the court, please.
Okay, tell me, how goes it?
So, yeah, it's kind of twofold. They take an assessment. Based on that assessment, allows me to know where the student is as far as their grade level in math and in reading. Based on that, they go on 2 tracks. And so one track is like a basic education where we're just literally working on kind of some elementary reading and math skills.
Okay.
Or a GED track where they're ready for GED concepts. And so, yeah, and I usually just, go from there. I work with my GED students individually. And
how long does the process take? And how long can we expect it?
So that's honestly kind of a loaded question. Depends on where where they fall. I believe Corey does score pretty well.
Great.
So, yeah, and, you know, I've worked with people that have gotten the GED in 3 weeks. I've worked with people that have gotten the GED in 2 years.
Oh, yeah. I can't do 3 years. That's too much.
Well,
I know, I'm kidding.
understand that. No, I understand that.
She's been faithfully attending though? Yay or nay?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And with some consistency, 3 to 4 months, maybe less.
That sounds great.
That's just me ballparking.
I'd like to stick with it because I think at the end of the game, our goal here is that she ends with that diploma. And I think that would be a win for everybody. I'm calling you. I want to make sure that everything's going well, that she's attending, faithfully attending and doing well. And it sounds like you're saying that this is what's been happening.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so I'm just going to continue everything. Just continue to go, Miss Dixon. I mean, you got like what he's saying. If you continue at it 2 to 3 months, you'll end up with your diploma. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson. I really appreciate your help. You've been great.
No problem, Judge. You take
Okay.
care.
You too. Thank you, sir. Bye. Great. Good job. Just keep at it. Okay. So let's set it 30 days. I want to ride this through. You're so close to being through. All you got to do is see it to the end, and then everything great will happen for you here as well. Okay. All right. Good job. All right. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for seeing me, Judge.
Of course.
Come before you. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just know that I came before you and I was from out of state. You tried to help me, and I was kind of telling
Sorry,
you
I've
that it
been
was going
sitting
to
here
be
and you-
dismissed anyway.
I wanted to say that, he's hard on her, and I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, I appreciate the fact that when he was given the information he needed, he was that a girl. He was not prideful, and, he was that a girl. I appreciate that. I really, really do. But he's a hard nose. I like him.
I was here 9 days. They shipped me to Arkansas.
Hey,
30
Haley.
minutes, it was all done. Set to be dismissed on the 9th. However, the police that stopped me had my car towed and put a card in my property. And so my car was sitting there the whole time. And so I had to find my way back to Houston. Since I've been having Uber back and forth to try to, and I couldn't get my car. It was $540, now it's $1,400. They said, look, you got 4 days, sir, and we're gonna auction off your car. But then they said, if the judge you went before, if he gives you an order, we will release your car zero balance. Again, Judge,
I can't give you an order to give you your car back. That would be me, in essence, ordering a company that does business to lose money to give you your car back because you don't want to pay to get the car back.
I don't want them to lose money. The thing is, my car was towed erroneously. I was at home. That's why I want to show you the police report. I was at home.
To file a complaint with the police, internal affairs. If you're telling me that if something was done illegally, immorally, or whatnot, you need to file paperwork with that appropriate agency. But I
Get my
cannot
ex-mother-in-law a cup
order
of coffee for
a
the room.
private company to return something to you. I don't have that kind of jurisdiction.
Yep, there it goes.
What do they mean you get a judge's order and we release it?
Maybe a civil judge's order. I'm a criminal court judge. The only time I can ever order any kind of property returned would be if it's confiscated by the state and they're holding it. So let's say you get arrested, you get pulled over, and you have a gun on you, right? They take your gun and they put it in the HPD property room, right? In that respect, under certain circumstances, I may be able to order them to return it because it's in the care, custody, and control of the state.
But not
via
federal.
HPD. Here, your car was towed by a private company and they're holding it, and it sucks. I get it that the bill has ballooned as much as it has. if you ever have a problem, you can always file a complaint with the bail bond, not the bail bond board, but there is a actual board for, there's a towing board too, isn't there?
I'm looking at it, yes.
It's a towing regulation.
There's
There's
a,
a request for a hearing, but I'm reading that it's gotta be before the 14th day after the vehicle was removed, is that you have to submit a tow request. The forms are all here. It's 50.
and maybe the fact, right, maybe the fact that you're in custody may toll. I don't know. But I'm not versed on that kind of, and I'm not, number one, number two, I'm not allowed to even give legal advice, but I don't know. But I can't order them to give you your car back. You know, that would literally be me telling them, hey man, you know, just forget about all the money that you've made by holding the car. Just give the man his property back. I can't do that. I don't have the jurisdiction. Maybe a civil court under certain circumstances may order it back, but you'd have to file a lawsuit. You'd have to file some kind of paperwork.
I'm gonna pray for a miracle.
What I would do, perhaps, can you get on a payment plan with them and say, hey, look.
Try that. They zero tolerance. I mean, honestly, I
And I have to understand, because imagine how many times they've probably gotten yanked, you know?
I wish.
But theoretically, even if I were to give you a court order now, they'd have to, my guess would, they would hire a lawyer, file a motion to quash my order, saying that, hey, he doesn't have the proper jurisdiction to do this, right? And then they may come after you for attorney's fees. My
manager's like, hey man, if you go to it, I'll release your car to you. He understood what happened. He said, man, just bring me something. I'll release it to you. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go try.
And you know, a lot of times they say stuff just to get you out, you know? But
We have one company around here I know is really
I'm
honest
sorry.
and good.
But like
Not a
I
story.
said, perhaps if you talk with the owner, you may be able to negotiate something with them. If you talk with if you talk with someone who has no power to negotiate, you always, if you talk to the right person, if you talk to them at the right time, you may get what you want. So don't go to them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because they've been working, they're tired, they've probably dealt with a lot of people, all they want to do is go home. But go there first thing in the morning, try to get to the owner and say, hey, look, here's my circumstance, here's the proof, work with me. I want my car back. And I mean, what do you think? Anything else, Freya?
No, I'll help him out with the tow lot information, and I also have got a copy of the HPD's agreement with private tow lots, so that maybe that can help him.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
You
Ellie,
never know, it doesn't hurt
Ellie,
to try.
Eddie,
Just keep trying it.
my cat's name is Ellie.
Yeah, look.
Can you send it to me in Discord?
Okay.
I can play it.
You want to go in the middle?
Okay, so my family and I went out to eat at a restaurant here where we live, and parking is really limited. But behind the restaurant, there's like a big parking, it's like a gravel area, and there's a house that's been turned into a salon. And there were no parking signs in the back of the salon where the gravel, it's like long, narrow store, restaurant shaped like a thin rectangle, right? And behind it's a house. On one half of that area behind the restaurant, there was no parking. On the other half, more the front of the house, there was no signs that said no parking. So my son parked there, and we got out of the restaurant, and my son's car was towed. So we contacted the towing company. We took pictures. Mama's smart. I took pictures where there was no parking and where there was no parking signs. And then there was places where there were no signs. Got to the towing company and showed them and said, look, there was no signs that said we could not park there. Over here, yes. But on the opposite side of the house, there was no signage. And she said there's supposed to be signage. Somebody had stolen the sign and pulled it down. They didn't charge him a penny. They gave him his car back. They were very honest people. So there are some good ones out there. So Eddie, yeah, Put it in Discord.
Hey, shh. All right, good morning, Mr. Cordova. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. It's a Class A misdemeanor. You're looking at up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Looks like they're going to reduce it to a first. You need to understand that it's still 2 on your record now. So after today, bless you, you ever get pulled over with the faintest smell of alcohol, dope, whatever it may be, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen? Okay. Not with me. From now on, you've now graduated to felony court. 2 and 2 make 3. A third DWI, you're looking at a third-degree felony, a minimum of 2 years in prison, a maximum of 10 years in prison.
Got
and
it.
I'm going to tell you that you don't have to be falling down piss-ass drunk where you urinated and puke everywhere.
Where is it?
Just the faintest smell of alcohol. They're going to look your record. They're going to assume if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, they're going to just rather take you off the street. They're not going to try to be cool and let you go. What happens if you kill a family of 5? That officer's career down the toilet. So in an effort to make sure that doesn't happen, they're just going to take you off the street. And you thought now was bad. Wait till you get to felony court. All you have to do is don't get into a car, even if you've had a sip. One button on a phone, $30 will take you wherever you want to go in this life. No matter where you want to go. How much money have you spent? I want you to know that you are now skirting, by doing this probation here, the mandatory 5 days in jail that you would normally be having to do. But I want you to understand that I'm going to hold you to this probation.
5 days?
And if you fail to do what you're supposed to do, I'm telling you now, I'm going to lock you up. And if I find that you have a problem with dope, you have a problem with alcohol, I can and will most probably put you in a rehab facility in the jail. Do you understand? No alcohol means no alcohol from any source, no matter how long, whether you're a month away from completing probation, whether you're 1 week. I can't tell you how many times people get back here because they say, oh man, I've got a month left on probation. I've got 2 weeks. They're not going to do anything. Boom, you get tested on the last week of probation. So get ready. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never take this off. You understand? This is what you want to do. How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty and I'm going to sentence you to 180 days in jail. I will probate that for 12 months. As part of the probation for you to successfully complete it, you must do a repeat offender DWI education class. You must do 1 victim impact panel, a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what are the conditions you may need. If they assess other conditions, you must fulfill that. It could be intensive outpatient treatment. It could be supportive outpatient treatment. It may be something else. If they assess something further, you must complete it.
You go,
No
Judge.
drugs, alcohol, random urinalysis, guardian interlock, no breath test refusal. If you were pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath test, you must do it while you're on this probation.
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Cordova has a scram and he'd like to keep that because he has hired a driver. We know it's a first DWI. DPS, sometimes they may come back and do a hard suspension or 90-day, and we don't want any missteps. So he's okay with that if the court is.
Problem is, I've been paying it for you now. I can't pay for it anymore. You're going to be responsible for this thing on your own now. That thing right there is $500 a month that I've been eating, so you don't have to pay for it. So I don't know how your finances are, but an interlock is typically, what, $100 a month? I don't know, but it's at least double, if not more, than what an interlock costs.
Can you afford that?
That's fine. I can't pay for it. I don't, while he's on probation, I can't pay for things.
And that's just my concern. If he gets the breathalyzer, he's not driving, then it's gonna be a violation because he's not driving.
We do portable devices.
We
do-
tried that, Judge, and I don't trust those. I've had a lot of, so and I think he feels the same.
No.
There's been so many issues.
It's up to you. I'm happy, whatever you do, just make sure you maintain compliance. Don't stop charging it. Don't stop paying for it, because at that point, all we're gonna end up doing is issuing a warrant for your arrest. $100 donation to the Houston Food Bank and 30 hours of community service. Give children. How many kids you got? I'd rather, instead of the community service, do a parenting class. I think
Right,
people
sure.
would be better served with doing a parenting class and just mindless
I think that's very.
dumbass work on the street. Forget about it. No, you're better served learning things in this life than to just do menial work. The idea is that you learn so that you don't come back and that you don't graduate to felony status, because then
Brain cramp.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be hard on you. But when you end up with a felony on your record, it closes so many doors. It's unreal. You lose the right to vote. You want social services from the state. Forget about it. Not when you're a convicted felon. It just closes so many doors. So
He's right
you
about
need to do
that.
everything in your power
It does.
to prevent that from happening.
Closes a lot of doors.
How do you plead to this? You said guilty. How do you plead? All right, I'll find you guilty. I'll send you to this agreement. One more thing is there are fines and fees that you're going to be required to pay. There's a supervisory fee that you're going to be required to pay for this DWI. It's a $6,000 fee. We will give you time to pay it. I give him 2 years.
We did discuss, he makes a good salary, but he's got 5 children. So I don't know if the
Not
court
our
would
problem.
consider waiving that or.
So what we
our
typically do is
problem.
we give him 2+ years to pay it, and it ends up being like $100 a month. Just don't stop paying it. What I'll do is I'll waive the core costs.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Okay, so that'll take off like $500, but
Right.
you'll have to pay the supervisory fee. It's a lot, but we'll give you time to pay it, and don't stop, because if you stop, we will issue a warrant, and your butt's going to sit $100 for every 1 day for every $100 you owe. Hopefully, this is enough to get your attention. Because at the end of the day, you're walking out of here when you should be doing jail time. So it's going
Exactly.
to cost you a pretty penny, but hopefully that's enough to get your attention. You understand?
Sure.
Okay, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Sure. Yeah, I have to suspend a license.
No, and that's.
I'll do it for a year, and then, show me that you're good. I'll entertain an occupational later on if he's doing well and in compliance with the probation.
Sounds good. Thank you.
6,000.
Morning.
Hi.
Morning, Judge. I'm here on
I like
Ricardo
that.
Vargas, Narcissus, Narces.
Is it under Vargas? Yes, I see it. Yeah. Okay. What would you like to do?
Thank you, Judge. We're asking to roll this till Monday. My client's getting his interlock literally right now in his appointment. The supervision order's already been submitted by the state, I believe. She just told me that a few seconds ago.
Can I sign it, or you want me to wait, Morgan, since he doesn't have the interlock yet? Yeah, I think that we're talking about Vargas. He's getting his interlock today, but you guys, did you submit a PTI order already?
I was told to
Hold it, right?
leave that and hold it till Monday.
Yeah, okay.
because we need for
Then,
proof of that.
yeah, we'll do that. All right.
And that's all we plan to do. We'll have it ready, Judge. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Morning, Judge. I'm approaching on a bond violation for Mr. Lazo Morphine, Lazo. He's here in the transfer here, Judge.
Okay. Lori, why are you still here? Just go. I'll call you if he shows. I mean, it's 11:45. What's the last name?
Last name?
Oh, I'll call you if he shows.
ASL Morphine.
He's like, oh, ooh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Greatly appreciate you. Uh-oh. Look at that body language. Not good body language.
Why are you here?
Tengo corte hoy.
I have court today.
No kidding.
De veras.
You don't say.
I love it.
¿Por qué también estás aquí, señor Lazo?
Nomás porque tengo corte.
Just because I have court.
You have a bond violation.
Violación de su fianza.
They are telling me that you are tampering with your Scram device.
Oh.
Specifically, at 1 a.m. on October 15th.
Judge, with that, there's not really much information listed on that PR to further into it. The tamper lasted a duration of 25 hours and 51 minutes, and alcohol was detected but could not be confirmed on that tamper as well.
Ese caso de manipulación también.
What they're telling me is that you tampered with the device for about 25 hours and alcohol was detected during that time.
Yo ni siquiera he movido el aparato y alcohol no he tomado nada.
I haven't even moved the device. And
they're telling me.
Eso no es lo que me está indicando.
Pero yo no he tomado nada, nada que he tomado. Nada. Y esto ni
they're telling me.
Ni lo he movido.
I haven't
No lo he
moved
movido
it.
nada.
I haven't moved it or anything.
That's not what they're telling me.
Eso no es lo que ellos me están indicando.
Pues no sé cómo, pero si yo no lo he
I don't know how
movido.
I haven't moved it.
Y ni he tomado
I
nada.
haven't drank or anything.
Nada.
Oh, look at the bailiff. Look at the bailiff. He knows. He's getting ready to go. Bye-bye.
I unfortunately don't know how you tamper with the device, Mr. Lazo. But from what I understand, I want you to listen. You have somehow tampered with the device. The device is supposed to maintain a constant contact with your skin, and the device lost contact with your skin for 25 hours.
So he placed
Not only
between his skin
did it lose
and the
contact, but during that duration, they also tested alcohol.
Resultó en detector alcohol.
No he tomado alcohol, no sé por qué decir que alcohol, no he tomado nada. Desde que él me dijo que no tomara, no he tomado nada.
I haven't.
No he tomado
Not to,
nada.
I haven't drank anything. I don't know why.
You got?
¿Qué tiene usted?
Well, Judge,
Bueno, es
I mean, this is my client's word
la palabra de mi cliente
versus
en
technology.
contra de la tecnología.
Being that it's an imperfect world, I
Es un
would
mundo
request the
imperfecto
court
de pedir
admonish
que
him
reporte lo
and
honeste
make sure he gets the
y que se
problem fixed.
asegure de que
Not the way that bailiff
Sorry, Mr.
is
Lazo.
standing there.
You tampered with the device for 25 hours. What am I supposed to do? Let you go?
¿qué es lo que debería hacer? ¿Dejarlo ir?
No sé por qué, digo que siempre lo traigo igual, lo traigo donde
I don't
mismo.
know.
Y
I have
anda en
it
la
the
pierna.
same every time. That's my skin.
Sí.
Judge, this is a second DWI constitute car accident. I think you should go zero tolerance.
Yeah, I agree. Taking you in.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
there it goes. Look, 2 officers.
The bond is set now at, it's at $100. I'll set it at 5,001. Mr. Lazo, I need you to understand that we mean business. You can't tamper with the device for 25 hours. And they detect alcohol and think that good things are going to happen.
If it was offline, but no alcohol was detected, I think he'd believe him. But when alcohol is detected, when it comes back online, yeah, no bueno.
No es eso. Buenas cosas hubieran sucedido.
No, alcohol, nada, nunca. Y esto siempre anda.
Okay, you guys may speak Spanish. Please, English only. Only. My hearing aid. There you go. Please, English only. I don't speak Spanish, guys. If you do put something in Spanish, please translate it. Because I have no idea what you're saying.
No lo he movido.
The device tells me differently.
El aparato me está informando.
Goes with you.
Yo respeto.
I respect the things that you told me.
It's all. Please.
Okay. Wait. I thought that
need someone to
that looked
stay.
familiar.
Stay, please.
Not mad. I'm just saying, not everybody understands Spanish. So put it in Spanish, fine.
You are
Ariel,
Carlos
translate
Gomez.
in English or somebody, please.
Mr. Gomez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 180 days in jail to be probated for 12 months. Is this a second being reduced to a first? Is it a true first?
No, Judge, so he had a prior DWI that was dismissed via our PTI program.
Okay, so repeat offender then.
Okay,
The reason I'm
Andrea,
asking you
I
is
just
because,
translated it
the
in
reason I'm
English. Thank
asking
you,
is
Google.
because we have different types of education
Thank you, Google.
programs. You already did one education program and that didn't take. So now we have to do the repeat offender DWI education class in hopes that that one works, because you pick up another one. From now on, you will be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. Do you understand? You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial,
That's
right to
okay.
compel witnesses to
Do it,
testify on your
Google.
behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, this will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. What do you think an officer is going to do if they come up to your car, they see DWI dismissed, DWI conviction, and then they smell alcohol? What do you think they're going to do?
You'll be arrested.
Sorry?
They'd take me.
I would venture a guess, no questions asked. Don't matter if it's just even the faintest smell of alcohol, faintest smell of weed, anything funky in your car, they smell it, they're going to take you down, because all they look at, your priors and what you smell like. That 2 and 2 together, that's all they look at. Do you understand? So I would never, even if you had just a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car, because it's a huge and it's a humongous financial gamble. Do you understand?
And a
As
gamble
part
with
of this
somebody else's
agreement,
life.
you will do, like I said, the repeat offender DWI education class, 1 victim impact panel. You will also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. If they assess other conditions like intensive outpatient treatment, supportive outpatient treatment program, you must fulfill those additional things. Substance abuse treatment, no drugs, no alcohol, random urinalysis, no breath test refusal. So if you're pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath sample, you must take it. Guardian interlock, 23 hours of community service, and a $100 one-time donation to the Houston Food Bank. This is how you understand the agreement.
Sure.
Zach.
If you fail to live up to your side of the bargain, you test positive for alcohol, don't do your classes on time. If you pick up a new case, if you drive on a suspended license, we will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm going to roll you back out here in orange. We're going to discuss whether you violated your probation. If you did, you're looking at 180 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You still want to do this? Okay, how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Okay.
I'll find you guilty. I will follow the agreement, send you to it. Max, about the fines and fees and surcharges, what do you do for a living, sir?
Driving.
What kind of money do you make? You have a CDL?
Yes, I got CDL. Right.
You realize that the CDL is now going to be suspended. You realize that a second DWI conviction, you'll lose that CDL for life. Do you realize that? Yeah, a second DWI conviction, you'll lose the CDL for a life. When you are a CDL driver, you are held to a higher standard. The entire world is at a 0.08 legally, right? For what they consider intoxication. When you have a CDL, it's even lower. It's at a 0.04 or 0.05. You are held to a higher standard because you were supposed to be better, do better because of that CDL. You will be required to pay the supervisory fees. And I want you to understand that if you don't pay it, you will go to jail. Every $100 that you owe is 1 day in jail that you will do. So we have to get through to you somehow. I hope that this is it. But you got to understand that on our streets, every single day, someone dies from a DWI. And it's truly a pathetic and sad thing. That's what we are trying to prevent. And I hope that this is the last time.
Okay.
You understand? Because if not, we have a jail just waiting for you.
Ooh.
All right. Good luck, sir. All right. So 3,000 and then whatever the court costs are in the next 2 years.
0.228.
Like him. Oh, this is funny. Look at that tie. Or is that a shirt? That's a jacket and a shirt. Looked like a huge tie. I was like, what?
This was the one we were emailing.
That
It
is
was on
the
for
tie.
today. And then
Y'all, that's a tie. Look how big that tie is. He's that little. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
She put on for tomorrow, and then I guess I sent an email to keep it on for today. And I guess I never got it.
You have the case
No, do you mind?
252-8814.
That trial case we had, Judge, where we came to that global resolution with Fort Bend's DWI court.
And now you have bond violations. You have an open DWI here. You have an open DWI in Fort Bend. And now you have bond violations.
Judge, I think we can explain. Yeah. Judge, he works for Mattel, the toy company, and his shift was starting at 9 o'clock, and the company changed it. It sounds like quickly changed it to 6:30 a.m. Takes him about 45 minutes to get there. I have his logs where he's logged in showing 6:30. His granddad is driving him to work. It takes about 45 minutes. My understanding is he communicated with pretrial about the need to get to work or that he went to work. And hopefully it would, if we had the GPS data, it would show that he went from his home to his place of work straight.
Any other violations?
No, Judge.
So what are the timing violations?
It was an unapproved leave, so he left early at 5:41 in the morning, and his curfew is at 6, or he's allowed to leave.
Okay, that's it?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, I'm not gonna ding you on that. Just,
We would like to ask you to consider making it from 6 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. Would that allow you to get to work by 6:30?
yes, I'm okay with that, Troy. I mean, if it's just a matter of trying to get to work and that's the nature of the violation, I get it.
See,
But
I like
come
him.
to us first. If they change your duties at work, if they change your time at work, you got to come and let us know so that we can change it for you. Don't just start doing things on your own because then things go haywire. You have to answer up. So I'm okay with you going to work. I'm okay if you need more time, but ask. Okay? And you want 5:30 in the morning?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, you got it.
And so we thought the setting in Fort Bend was yesterday. We thought it was going to be on 12/4. It's on 12/20. He's supposed to be entering into a DWI program. It looks like there's some steps I'm trying to keep up with.
And it's to set it the day after that day or the couple days after?
Beginning of the year. I mean, do you have I don't mind coming back if you have dockets.
Yeah, we don't go anywhere. We're here, so I would like to hopefully end this before the end of the year. That way he's in the program throughout the holidays. That way there's no temptation, throughout that time. So what day in Fort Bend do you have court?
December 20th.
December 20th. Okay, so why don't we set it, that's that Friday. So if you want to set it the next week, any day. Not Monday though, because I'm gonna be gone that Monday, but any other day other than that Monday, I'm okay with, yeah, okay, all right.
And any chance he can drive, Judge, he has the interlock device, right?
I'm not, no, don't push your luck. You have 2 open DWIs. I'm not letting you drive. No, you scare me, dude. No, and it's nearing the holidays, get in the program, and then we're done here, right? You're off mine. I think this case gets dismissed, right?
Yes, sir.
Once this case gets dismissed, you're under no more of my jurisdiction. You can do whatever you want, right? So it's an incentive to get you to work this thing, to get this thing done once and for all. I mean, you're literally in the home stretch, right? You got what? About 2 weeks, you're in. All right. Do what you need to do, get in. All right? Yes, sir. Okay, guys, good luck. Can you see whether he's given a PR bond? I know, he just bonded out, that's why. But we need to do conditions, that's why. But I want to know whether he bonded out or they give him a PR bond, because I don't see it. It's not.
It was a surety bond.
It was, okay.
It was surety bond on both of them.
Okay. Mr. Tujakas, I hope that you understand that we mean business. I will protect every person of Harris County. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care if you're a small farm animal. I will protect every single person. You don't put your hands on anyone. And if you pick up a third case, I'm going to do la cucaracha on all of your bonds. Do you understand? I'm going to go absolutely bonkers on your bonds if you pick up a third case. You are not to have any contact with any of the complaining witnesses in these cases. You're not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs. You're not to be in possession of any weapons.
Where's Kathy?
Anything else, State?
You said no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. We would also say no contact with the complainant,
Yeah.
Judge.
I think that goes without saying.
Restriction.
So we
Got
did
snip
a,
this week. She had surgery this week.
He lives there.
we removed the residential restriction yesterday, the residential restriction, because council said that he lived at that address, but I need to make sure because she has an open PCS out of Travis
I
County.
don't know what that was.
And I don't, do you still have the cost number on that one? Is there a bond that's,
Number yet, it's bond denied, so
it's bond denied? Okay, so it's bond denied, so she can't get out until that 10th day set a bond and then go from there. So you know now what's expected of you. Don't mess up. Do you understand? You must also remain in contact with your lawyers. If your lawyers tell me that they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games and you're not responding to phone calls, text messages, likewise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm not asking for much. I just want I want my county protected. That's it. And I'm going to do it at all costs. Do you understand? Okay. All right.
Thank you, Ready Tuesday.
Got it. So he's going to be monitored through pretrial, just for no alcohol, no dope. Good morning, Mr. Egan. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You
I'm
have the
not
right to have an
used to
attorney
my
present.
cat laying
Cannot
on my
afford one. One
desk
will be
next to
appointed
me.
you, sir.
On November
Let she go.
2024, officers conducted a traffic
Decent.
stop on defendant's motor vehicle after observing it pass him at a high rate of speed, make multiple lane changes, and swerve in and around cars in a reckless manner. Officer accelerated to catch up to defendant and reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour to keep up with him. The defendant traveled about 7 miles in about 4 minutes. Upon contact with the defendant, officer observed glassy eyes, a strong odor of alcoholic beverage, an open beer can in the center console, a 6-pack of beer in the passenger seat, and spilt beer that was still cool to the touch in the front passenger seat.
Drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. The defendant admitted to drinking. SFSTs were conducted, 4 out of 6 HGN, 6 out of 8 walk and turn, 2 out of 4 one-leg
I'm not
stand.
used to her
DICs were read and
doing this.
consented to.
Look.
The defendant blew a .147 and a .139. He does have an eligible driver's license, Judge.
Can you look to see if he has any prior DWIs, please?
He had a DWI out of Travis County, but he was released without
He
prosecution,
never does that.
Judge. So it's just a charge.
2 things. I am ordering you not to drive at all. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, Mr. Egan. This is a promise that you're going to make to me that you're not going to drive. I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. I don't care if Mother Teresa needs a ride to church. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You could be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive because it's an offense in and of itself. Do you understand? I'm also now ordering you to obtain a handheld interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. At the next time, if I find that you violate conditions, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand me? We are sending a court order to DPS in Austin so that every single officer in this state will know that if you are pulled over, any car that you're to drive must have an ignition interlock on it. I'm ordering you not to drive at all. But if at some point you do, by some miracle, get the ability to drive, I'm ordering you not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. So if you're caught driving a vehicle and it doesn't have an interlock on it, you will go to jail. Do you understand? And then if I find that you drive, we can have a contempt hearing. So just don't drive and don't use alcohol. Do you understand? Or illegal drugs. We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Ramona Center.
No, sir. You're still talking. Sorry.
I will get you to Ramona sign a reset. You will then get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, we'll let you go. Don't pick up any new cases. Behave yourself, because I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Egan, I will do everything in my power to protect my streets. And if that means locking you up and putting your bond
make me come
in a
after you,
sky
man.
high amount, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
I get you.
Do you understand? All right.
I don't know. I was hit at 9:47 in the morning by a woman who was drinking and driving. And about a month before she hit me, she had an open container charge. And then after she hit me, she had another drinking and driving charge. So I think, honestly, I think everybody's family at one way or another is affected by a DUI.
Good morning, Ms. Sanchez. Ma'am, you were charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
No attorney.
You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
We're in a dating relationship for 5 years. On November 27th of 2024, officers were dispatched to a residential home in Harris County, Texas, in reference to a family assault in progress. The officer contacted the complainant on the phone and could hear him screaming and telling the defendant to get off of him and to stop pulling his hair. Officer asked the complainant if the defendant was still assaulting him, and the complainant responded yes. Defendant fled the scene on foot when officers arrived. The complainant gave the direction of travel to the officer. The complainant stated he and the defendant had been putting up Christmas lights after drinking, and an argument ensued. The complainant said the defendant began attacking him by pulling his hair, causing pain. The complainant fell to the ground and the defendant proceeded with kicking him. The complainant said that when the defendant drinks, she gets aggressive and wants to fight. Officers returned the defendant to scene and she would not cooperate, was yelling obscenities at the complainant, and was acting belligerently.
Okay. Ms. Sanchez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you don't have anyone to pony up $5,000 to $10,000 on the bond for you, guess what happens? You'll be stuck like Chuck until this case is over with. And I'm going to tell you, it takes damn near 9 months just to get a 911 tape. Behave while you're out there in the free world, or I will take the free world away from you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
But this is domestic. This is
Tell me, what do you
TV.
do for a living?
I'm a recruiter, skilled trades, and then operations coordinator.
You have an income.
Not at this moment. I recently got laid off in October.
Okay. I have an application already on file. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
At this time, yes, sir.
Okay.
If you could, please.
We need to talk about the complaining witness.
So Conrad has spoken to the complainant and he would like no contact as well as a residency restriction, Judge.
Okay. You heard that, Ms. Sanchez. There's a protective order that has been issued in this case. The protective order was issued on November 28th. I would suggest you get to know it. If you violate the protective order, they can and will file a violation of a protective order against you, and that is the capital murder of misdemeanors. It's one of the worst cases you could pick up over here.
Oh, yes,
You
sir.
understand? So
Yes, sir.
don't have any contact with them,
That's not a problem, sir.
in possession of weapons, and don't go back to the house listed on the protective order, which is at the Woodlands West.
That is not a problem, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you sign a receipt with Ramona. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions, then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box and we'll find you a lawyer. Please. Do you mind filing no contact and no weapons, please?
Yes, Judge. And do you also say no alcohol or?
Oh, you know, don't worry about it, because since she's monitored, don't even worry about it. Right.
All right, Sir Tucci
Now.
on page 22. SER. Did I pronounce it?
Sign it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me a second, let me see. Connor. Morning, sir.
Judge, does Ms. Sanchez have any documents to sign?
With me.
Yeah, she will with Felicia. She's getting monitored.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, All right, so you are Justice Sertucci.
Sir.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On November 27th of 2024, officers were dispatched to a person down call at the intersection of Bagby and Elgin Street. Officers observed the defendant's motor vehicle stopped in a moving lane of traffic. HFD advised that when they arrived earlier, the defendant was in the driver's seat behind the wheel with his foot on the brake and the vehicle in drive. HFD EMT further advised that when the driver woke up, he admitted to having been drinking. Officers observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverage and glassy eyes on the defendant. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 HGN, 8 out of 8 walk and churn, 4 out of 4 one-leg stand. On the way to JPC, the defendant threw up in the patrol vehicle. DICs were read but refused, and a search warrant for blood was signed and executed. He does have an eligible driver's license, Judge. He doesn't have any prior DWIs, but he has juvenile history.
Okay. Mr. Sertucci, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have valid liability
Ooh, I feel
insurance
bad
in your
for
name?
those who had to clean up
You have
that-
car insurance.
that car.
All right. I'm
Cool.
ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume
Hazmat
alcohol or
duty.
illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly
Definite
test you. If I
hazmat
find that
duty.
you're using alcohol or illegal drugs, Your bond will be revoked. You will go to jail. No more PR bonds. You understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
I see that you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, we will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with Mr. Saman. He'll tell you when you have to come back to court. For now, I'll have you sign a receipt with Ramona. We'll have you get with your bond conditions with Felicia, and then we'll have you take a seat in the back. Wait for Mr. Omar. All right, please.
One last one, Your
Hello,
Honor.
Lord,
It
we
was
catch
skipped
'em all.
by accident, page 3,
Melody. Meowdy. Meowdy. You missed my Meowdy. He was up here for a minute. Hot minute.
Is it Chaston?
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 Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Blackburn, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the gun case, you're facing up to a year and or a $4,000 fine.
Unlawful
And on
carrying
the
of a weapon?
DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay.
Officers were conducting an unrelated fatal accident investigation when they observed the defendant's vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed toward the blocked portion of the roadway. Officers saw the defendant disregard a barricade and were able to successfully get the defendant to stop by shouting verbal commands and utilizing their flashlights. Upon contact, officers observed a moderate odor of alcoholic beverage, glassy, watery, bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. The defendant admitted to having 3 drinks at a nearby bar and was temporarily detained. SFSTs were conducted, 4 out of 6 HGN, 4 out of 8 walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 one-leg stand. DICs were read and breath was consented to. The defendant blew a .086 and a .084. During search of the vehicle, officers located a handgun within the center console. She doesn't have any priors, Judge, and she does have an eligible driver's license.
Wait a minute. This is Texas. We have the castle law, which means a lead shooter can be in the vehicle unless you have a prior felony and you're not permitted to have one. Now, because she was drinking and driving, they may now make that illegal weapon. But if it was in the center console and not in her hand, I need a lawyer. Where are my lawyers? Where are my
All right,
lawyers?
Ms. Blackburn, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using alcohol or drugs, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You understand?
Yes.
Do you have a lawyer, ma'am? Tell me, what do you do for a living?
Stay at her mom since I was 21. I just started part-time GB 2 days a week.
Okay, what, so you're married?
Married.
What does your husband do for a living?
We're in real estate.
Okay, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No. Don't want to.
I'll speak to him and he can try.
So what we'll do is I can give you time.
Okay.
You know, what we normally do is we reset cases for 30 days to give you time to go hire a lawyer. But this is a DWI and there's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI. So don't just sit and wait a month or 2 months because you're only hurting yourself. You need to get on it. You need to get on it quick.
Sure.
Okay, if you have any issues, you can come back and tell us and then we can go from.
Wow. I like him. I like he.
Good morning, Ms. Perry.
Oh, look at his.
Ma'am, you were charged with theft.
I love
You're
the way
facing
he
up to 6
dresses.
months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
Puts a lot of
We're going to
money
do
in his
probable cause. You have the
clothes.
right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
He's
Yes,
awesome.
Judge. On November 30th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a JCPenney in regard to a theft. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant, the loss prevention associate, who advised that the defendant walked to the Levi's department with their personal infant stroller, grabbed several clothing items from the store display, and then walked into the elevator area to conceal the items. The complainant advised the defendant then went to the.
Okay. Little history about me. I worked in a mall when I was in my 20s as security. I was the only female. And I had a stroller, fake baby. You know, that's when the strollers came out with the closable where you really couldn't see inside. And I shopped like a mama. Just walked around the mall, looked like I'm shopping, but I was really security. You have no idea how many women would go into a dressing room with all these items. And what they would do is if you could only take 10 items in, what they would do is they would slip a pair of pants underneath a shirt. So it looked like one item hanging on a hanger. They would conceal things that way. And then they would leave, or sometimes they'll just take in 10 and come out and leave what's hanging and leave a big mess in the room, because by then the attendant doesn't remember how many clothes you took in. And they would put the clothing between the padding of the stroller and the cart in the body of the stroller underneath the baby. They would hide it. They would bring bags from that store and pull them out of their purse and then put clothing in it and then put those bags in the bottom of the stroller. I caught a Middle Eastern woman who had the full burqa, and she would go in, try clothes on, throw the burqa on. She had almost $10,000 of high-end pieces of clothing underneath that thing. She went in a size 8 and came out a size 15, 16. It was so funny too. We physically watched her body get bigger and bigger. And she went from different parts of the department store to different fitting rooms. And so when she finally walked out of the store, I snagged her at that point. And when we added up the value, it was over 10 grand of clothing. But this is stuff like Ralph Lauren and, you know, back in the day, you know, everything was $200 and $500 a piece. We had Chanel, you know, so she had some high-end stuff. And then she had a grandchild with her. And when we had the police come and they searched the stroller, she had an additional $4,000 to $5,000 worth of product hidden in the stroller. And she was a grandma. So I enjoyed that job. They don't do it like that anymore.
The men's and kids department using the same method to conceal more stolen property. The defendant then walked out of the store into the main part of the mall, passing all points of sale. Security attempted to stop the defendant outside the store, and the defendant fled on foot back to the store where she was tackled by loss prevention. Total cost of the items was $415.
If you know him, reach out.
Ms. Perry, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now not to go to any JCPenney. You understand, ma'am? If I find that you go back to JCPenney or you pick up any new case, I will revoke the bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds, man. How old are you?
17.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in school right now, so I play sports.
Where do you go to school?
Wait, he passed away.
You're in high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you want to
Didn't
apply
he
for
pass
court appointed
away?
lawyer, ma'am? Would you like one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you need a lawyer
No.
to represent you. I'm telling you now, you're
Was it Jeff
17
Harrison
and
who
you've now
passed
picked
away?
up a theft case. A theft case is probably one of the worst cases that you can pick up because you get one of those on your record, you're branded a thief, and no one hires thieves. So be careful out there. All right. I need you to fill out an application for me. So Steven's going to give you an application. I'm going to have you take your seat in the jury box after you sign your reset. I need you to fill it out for me. Do not
Actually, it
leave
looks
until
like
you
the
sign our
palm
bond conditions,
trees.
and then we'll have you speak to a lawyer here momentarily.
I
Okay?
don't know. It was
And that was
cute.
state conditions, correct? Yeah, state. Yeah. So can you file, no,
So
going back to
Celeste,
JCPenney?
can
To
it-
clarify, all JCPenney?
Mhm,
Okay, yes,
mhm.
Your Honor.
All, no. Give me your last name again. So, hey, did you file conditions on Duval?
Yes, Judge, I believe so.
Okay, come up, we're gonna have you sign your bond conditions now. We'll have you give you a reset so you can get you on your way, okay? Sure thing.
Legal vices.
His
Michael,
park is about to
thank
expire, so let's just get him out.
you. Just
Right now.
had a brain print. I knew of legal vice, but I didn't know no legal vice. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry. Celestial, get us connected. It was Jeff. Thank you.
Hi.
How are you?
Thank you so much for coming.
Get us connected,
So,
girlfriend.
Tell me what's going on with Miss Perry. Is she acting up?
She doesn't act up, but around the wrong crowd. I don't want her to act up. I don't want her to hang with the wrong crowd. I don't want her to go far.
Okay.
So I just want her to make sure she's going to school and not getting in trouble.
We can make every single thing that you want a part of her bond condition so that if you start messing up, I have one place for you. We have schools in the jail and you can graduate from high school in the jail. It's your choice. You want me to send her for a drug test now to see if she's using?
No, sir. It's I already know the answer to that.
But you know what?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you want me to test her because I can. I'm not going to.
No, sir, I don't need her to get tested.
So you're not to smoke weed. You're not to use anything that has THC in it. I'm going to test you 45 days from today. And I'm telling you, if you test positive, I will put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't use and stay in school. I can give her a curfew if you want. I can make her stay at home, come to home 10 o'clock at night.
No, sir, I don't need a curfew or anything. I just want her to make sure she's at school. That's my only condition.
Okay, we'll make everything that you want. I can make it a bond condition. But the problem is though, is that if I do this and she's acting up out there, you have to be with me on this. So if I put her in, right?
Yes, sir.
Because if she knows that she can get away with stuff, when the cat's away, the mice will play.
Absolutely.
Right? So are we together on this?
Yeah.
I have no problems putting you in custody. Start acting up, Ms. Perry.
Yes, sir.
The last thing that you need is a theft conviction. And the other thing that you are desperately need in this life is a high school diploma. As a young Black woman in this life, it is so very difficult. You should never, ever have to rely on a man. You need knowledge. Knowledge is power. And I'm telling you now, if you get out there in life and you don't have an education and you don't have anything to do in this life, you're never going to make money. You're always going to be dependent on someone else. And it really sucks because the divorce rate in this country is extremely high because with life, you get older, you get bigger, you get fatter, we lose hair. Life doesn't get easier. It gets more difficult. And if you don't have some kind of education, good job, and you got to rely on some other man.
Guys, the way he's acting, he reminds me of a Pee Wee Herman. Oh, he reminded me of Pee Wee Herman when he did that little thing. Sorry. He's a good Pee Wee Herman. He's a judge dad. Yeah.
Forget about it.
He's good.
Be your own woman. Be strong and have an education. Because otherwise, life's going to suck. Life sucks without money. You understand? No more dope, and I will test you 45 days from today. Okay, Mom. We'll make all those a bond condition. We'll see.
Come on. I should come on up, come on. I strongly encourage the court's cheerleader-like attitude and requiring my
How
client
do
to
we get you to be
participate.
great in school? That's your number one focus now.
Wait, you're a lawyer?
Should be in education and doing as best as you.
Oh my God. Okay. Mama Boo, this doesn't work for you. Lawyer, you look like you just rolled out of bed and threw on a shirt and ran. What the hell's going on in this courtroom?
Because this is a step ladder to the future. You can either go up in life or you can go down in life. And right now you were headed down into the swamp. It's not doing well. You have to change. Otherwise, you're going to just keep continuing to go down. I've got thousands of people in there that can show you how bad it is. And
put her in for
the older
24
you
hours.
get,
Throw her in there
without
for
that
24
education-
hours.
Without that
Let her go
education,
through the process.
it's
She'll learn
life
quick.
sucks. I'm telling you. What kind of grades do you make now? So how do you get to be better in school?
Be there. Participate.
You know, really,
I forgot to tell
it's not
y'all.
hard to maintain a 3.0 at B.
Guys, I made and 2 out of 100. Yes, I got extras for my criminal justice administration class. And for my transnational criminal justice class, I got 100. Y'all, I've never done that in my entire life. I've never, outside of PE or band, have I ever had 100 in a major class. I'm so proud of myself. I got to toot my own horn.
It's not. All you have to do is show up, just do a little bit of studying, and you can do it. All I want you to do is study and do and be the best you can.
Oh, I'm proud of her. Proud of her.
Well, what do you think?
I want her to be the best she can too. And I want
Is
her
a
to be-
3.0 unreasonable?
It's not unreasonable. I just don't want to, and I'm being honest, I don't want to set her up for failure. I want her to succeed in everything she does. But I do know what's going on in the school, and I don't want her to not make your requirements.
I want you to do well. I'm going to keep it because I want you to do as best as you can. And I want to use that as like a fire to light it, to make sure that you do what you're supposed to do and that you start studying in school. You should look at all the lawyers over here. It truly is amazing, some of the people that we have over here. They're so smart. They're so crafty with their arguments. Knowledge is power. When you know things, you're just better all around, you know? You only get it one way. 2.5?
2.5 what?
GPA.
It's better than 3, Judge. I've got two issues. Should she not be able to make whatever requirements the court set and her bond would potentially be revoked, I would probably have to appeal the bond condition because
The only thing I'm going to really get upset with is if you stop going to school and if you stop going to classes, because then I'm just going to go nuts. I'm telling you now, I will go nuts. The other thing is that if you smoke weed, I don't want you to smoke weed. I don't want you to use anything in it. I'm now giving you enough time so that it clears out of your system.
Thank you, Eddie.
Because I'm telling you, if you come back here and you test positive
miss my
again,
sister.
it's not going
not
to
gonna
go
cry.
well.
No,
And I don't
no,
care if she's
no.
kicking, and she's screaming, and she's
I
crying,
wanted
and you're
to
doing the
call
same
her
thing.
and tell her that what
If
I've
you
done, and I
continue
can't.
to smoke, it will not go well for you.
I can't
you
call her
understand?
and tell her.
My only concern are two in reality.
Yes,
Number
Judge.
one, that she stays in school to get her diploma. Number two, she's not using.
Understood.
And also, don't pick up a new case. I'm not asking for much. I'm asking you to be the best person you can be.
Said, the judge and I use different language. He says don't smoke. What he means is no THC, no CBD in any variety, gummies, vape. Okay.
Already, the legislature's now killing all that stuff, all the Delta 8, Delta 9, all this stuff that you see now. It's all going dodo. Okay, Mom, just if you ever need anything,
I'll be right
I'm here for you, for whatever you need, you know? Here's my card. You can always get a hold of me one way or the other. You know, we'll waive the fees, so money's never an issue for anything. Money is, I don't care about the money. I care about actions. You can either make the right action or you make the wrong action. Think before you act, think before you speak. That's it. All right, guys.
Thank you.
So 2.5, Alicia, please.
Yes.
Mr. Beltran, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up the. We need to fix this because it's the chart. This is not right. It's 30 days and $500 fine.
That's what the president, that's at the end.
I need you guys to initial this because this is wrong here. The range of punishment is 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Beltran, I want you to understand that this reckless driving is going on your record. And I've already advised you this before, that the legislature has made it really easy for DAs across Texas to take and seize cars from individuals who participate in this type of action. This now is going on your record. You start acting a fool in a car again, and you get pulled over and they charge you with either racing, reckless driving, or something like of this manner, get ready to lose that car. Because I'm telling you, I've had person over person in this court have their car seized because of multiple actions like this. Do you understand? If you want to act like this, go to a special place. They have them in Houston. If you want to race, if you want to do stuff of this nature, they have proper places, but not on our freeways. You understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. What's your question?
My license suspended.
Can you run his license, Alex? I'm not going to suspend your license, but I don't know if it's already suspended. If it is, don't drive. Because driving on a suspended license is a Class B misdemeanor, just like a DWI, just like any other, Class B, and can land you in jail 6 months.
It's eligible.
They're showing that it's eligible.
I'll get my driver's license.
Don't drive until you get your license and car insurance. I'm going to tell you, if you get into an accident and you kill someone or you create $30,000 worth of damage, they're going to come back and they're going to sue you for car insurance. For $50 a month, you pay an insurance company to represent you in the event that you get into an accident. They have lawyers that will represent you. That's why you pay for insurance. I have someone who wrote me recently say, hey man, I need help. I have this company that's coming after me for $50,000 and I don't have money to hire a lawyer. Because that's what happens. You get into an accident, you break someone's property, they're gonna come after you. You have to hire a lawyer. You understand? Get car insurance. How do you plead to this offense? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty. I'm gonna send it to you the agreement. It's 3 days in jail. I will give you credit for the 1 day that you've done. All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Judge. All right, please see the clerk. Yeah. How did the meeting, you met with the other two yesterday? Great.
The management class is completed. I just have to.
Great, awesome.
That's done. And you say that we're gonna have to talk to Chief about that.
Oh.
Celestial Force, here's my email.
Oh, that's Miss, Never Play Monopoly.
For what's his name?
That's a decision-making class, right?
No, that's email down. Camacho.
What does she have?
She has the terrorist threat, I think, where she had a gun, a toy gun.
Oh, I thought there was no PTI offer in that case. Got it. All right. I don't know. Oh, right. So in that case, you guys are just talking to see what you want to do. When you come back, let us know if you want to set it or what.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna try to get her an evaluation too.
Congratulations on your 2 months, my love.
Evaluation is another. She did the TRAS, but it's another evaluation we want to get done for her.
Did you already did it?
No, we're in the process of trying to get it done.
Set it up for you now so we can get it done quick because I think the case is old too. It's like over 200.
It is getting done.
Can we set it for next week, early next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that. I'll talk to
We'll give you the
I'm here on Abel Morales, Judge. It's a probation on a DWI. There's an MRP. You sent him for a drug test. He wasn't able to take the drug
I'm
test.
revoking his mom. Come up, Mr. Morales.
Judge, he is forthright. When he left here to go take the drug test, he asked for the number for a recovery coach. So we
I don't know. I ordered him to go take a drug test. You failed to do it. You didn't do it. There are consequences for action, dude.
I went. I just couldn't go.
he was there. He just couldn't.
I stayed till 5 o'clock.
They give you water. There's no reason why you can't go. I had a lady the other day, she had 5 bottles of water to be able to go. She was there for 4 hours. There's no reason why you can't.
I asked for water. They told me there's a water fountain that didn't really work on the 5th floor.
Judge, we know what the outcome of the drug test is going to be. He has not, he's been forthcoming with me from day one about that. And he does have a probation in writ court pending as well. And I
He's
think
still using Kavita. It's unacceptable. And I can't just let him go because he's just going to continue to use, he's going to continue to do what he wants to do. And it doesn't work like that. You've done nothing on your probation. I ordered you to go take a drug test. You didn't do it. There are consequences to action. And he now goes with you.
I understand, Judge, he is possibly going to go to SADF on writ court.
I think that's exactly what we need. No, that's what we need. And I'm going to tell you now, I will not let you go. I can keep you for the next 3 years until you come clean. We will continue to dance together. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I'm not running from anything. I mean, I don't mind going to take a test right now. I just couldn't go.
Mr. Morales, I gave you the opportunity. That ship sailed. I gave you the opportunity on this DWI. I've given you multiple chances. You have literally done 0 while you've been on this probation. So, you want a back rub too?
I'm not asking for any leniency.
In life, when you put your heart and soul into it, you can achieve damn near anything. That's what's so great about this country. You don't
want
live
a
in other
back rub
places
too?
where
Ooh, I like him.
you don't even have internet. You can do anything you want. Mind over matter. I've given you chance, I've given you after chance, and you've repeatedly failed and you continue to use. Now you do it my way. Goes with you. Sorry, Kavita.
Judge, he's probably going to go through the treatment in SADF. There's some pending stuff that they're waiting to
don't play.
get him into that program.
Yeah.
And I'll follow up with the felony probation as well.
Those
In
of you
regards
who
to his
needed
probation
my
here, he
email,
goes to SADF.
it was there.
Are you going to unsat term him?
No. I'm keeping him. I want to know how the setup goes. And then I want to continue with the aftercare. Because he'll go to SATA for however long it is, assuming he completes it successfully does it, he gets into aftercare and we maintain the hands on him until aftercare is completed. If he completes it, if he doesn't, right back to SATA once again. We just did it with someone else, right? And we're going to continue to do it until he's clear. We're going to
Judge won't play.
Beats the right in.
But I take it I can't work something out with the state. Thank you, Judge.
I asked you one thing.
You shouldn't be driving
2 things.
and talking on
technically.
the judge at the same
Don't
time.
pick up a new case.
Hello,
and
ladies,
stay
man.
clean.
80s music man,
You've not
actually.
done that. You repeatedly use over and over. You tested positive for cocaine on when? I sent you for a drug test today. You tested positive for marijuana. What else?
Just marijuana.
Just marijuana. When in prior tests, you didn't test positive for marijuana.
Okay.
So you are now
driving.
using that as well. What am I supposed to do, Mr.
I
Warren?
wish I had the music.
Can't tell you now what to do. I mean, I ate some gums, I messed up.
I'm sorry. I got to take you.
Song and
I
dance.
don't know what else I can do, you know? Joseph, do you have anything to add?
Yes, Judge. Judge, I don't know. I admonished Mr. Wyckoff early on about, the strictness of his bond conditions and not to use any illegal substances. And I'm not quite sure where the disconnect came from, but he's,
He
had
did
that
it.
positive
He
test.
wanted
And then
to do
you
it.
say you
This
tested
microphone's
positive
turning
today as
up.
well?
Yeah. And the thing is that
He
I
did
would
what he
venture
wanted to do.
guess that of all the cases that you have and that you've had with us since 2011,
That's a
how
lot.
much have been involved because of this one way or the other. When you get clean, good things happen. But I can't. I got to take it. It goes with you. All right.
gonna get a bond?
Of course, I will. I'm gonna set your bond at 5,001. Okay, all right. License.
Yes.
You want a license? Shh. Do you have liability
First
insurance
time I've
in your
seen
name?
him do that.
You have car insurance? Okay. What do you do for a living, man?
I'm sorry.
What do you do for a living?
Operations expert.
What does that mean?
I work for Anthem Global Show. My position is operations expert.
And how much money do you make a month?
I am on FMLA right now, so I'm not working necessarily full time due to that.
So how much money do you have coming in a month?
People know what they have coming in a
We're
month.
gonna reset your
Kiss him
case,
in
give you time to
behind.
hire a lawyer. I want you to understand that if I find that you're driving like this, I'm going to take your privilege to drive away from you. You're gonna sign an order today promising us that you're not going to drive recklessly, no racing, driving in this manner. If I find that you do, I'll tell you, living in a city as big as Houston without the ability to drive really blows. Don't. All we want our streets to be safe. Do you understand me? Okay. I'm gonna have you sign a reset with Ramona. After that, we'll just have you take a seat. When we get your bond conditions, we'll have you sign it, and then you'll be on your way, man.
Question, Judge. If I'm not able to hire an attorney, similar position,
You make quite a bit of money. You have to qualify for an appointed lawyer, you know, be at or near the poverty line. And when you make a lot of money like you do, which is great, I can't just appoint your lawyer. We don't give them like candy because I have a limited amount. And if they can only take so many cases, and if I give you one, I might not have one for another person who really, really needs it, you know? So we'll give you time though, and you'll have plenty of time. And remember, there's like a gajillion and one lawyers in Harris County. Negotiate with them. Say, you know, hey, I can pay this much. 90% will put you on a payment plan, and don't take up a first blush. Negotiate with them. They say, okay, I'll charge you this much. Okay, well, I can do this much, and then I can pay as we go. You know, a couple $100s a month, and then they'll. But remember, it's like buying a car. Don't go to a Ferrari dealership. Don't go to Bugatti. Go to what? Okay. Okay, man, please don't leave until you sign our bond conditions. And if you can file no reckless driving, no racing,
Yes, Judge.
et cetera. Please. Okay, please.
No driving, no, was she racing, car racing?
You speak English, ma'am? Thank you. Ma'am, you were charged with 2 counts of assault. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine on each of those cases. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On November 29th, 2024, officers were dispatched to an apartment complex regarding a disturbance and unknown weapon call for service. Upon arrival, the officers met with 2 complainants and a witness who advised that the defendant is their cousin. The first complainant advised that after the defendant called her downstairs, the defendant pulled her hair and pulled her to the ground. The defendant then assaulted the first complainant with a closed fist multiple times on the left and right side of her head, causing pain. The second complainant advised that after she saw the defendant kicking the first complainant's head, she attempted to stop the defendant. However, the second complainant was hit from behind by a second defendant with a closed fist on the left side of her face, and then proceeded to get assaulted by both the defendant and a second defendant, causing her to feel pain. The witness stated he was hit by the second defendant when he observed both complainants getting assaulted and attempted to separate the parties from fighting. The witness advised he saw the first defendant hitting both complainants with a closed fist and kicking them in the head and on the body. The defendant admitted to assaulting the complainants, and the officer observed visible swelling and markings on the complainants' faces.
Is there a co-defendant?
I couldn't see anything connected, Judge.
No, Your Honor, there's no connected cases, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
so I spoke to one of the complainants yesterday because the other one only speaks Spanish, so I can only speak to one of them. And she told me that for some reason the police only filed charges on this defendant because she admitted to it. I believe is what happened, but also, Judge, I just wanted you to be aware that there were
Thank you, Haley
major
Mouse.
injuries sustained by the witness and one of the complainants, and they were all checked out by HFD and all were checked out by HFD, and 2 were transported to Memorial Hermann Hospital Southeast for further evaluation.
I mean, serious bodily injury to where a felony can be filed?
It depends, I need to request the medical records, judge.
Was alcohol or drugs, did that play a part?
Not from what I'm aware of, Judge. It just seems like the defendant came to their father's home, which is where the complainants were, and then demanded that one of the complainants come outside and then she started beating on her.
Is there a familial relationship? Because it's charged as just an assault. Was it a
So-
family member?
So the two complainants and the witness are all siblings, and they're cousins with this defendant and
Yeah.
the two others. On the other hand.
Yeah.
So it is a family relationship, Judge. The complainant does want no contact and to restriction.
Okay. Ms. Moreno, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to have contact with any of the complaining witnesses in this case. Do you understand? I'm ordering you not to go back to this location, and I'm ordering you not to be in possession of weapons. How old are you, ma'am? You are 17 years old. Are you a United States citizen? I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I'm telling you now, I'm going to put you in jail. If you don't have anyone to pony up 5,000 to 10,000, you're going to be stuck in jail. I don't want to have to do that, but I want you to understand that I'm going to protect my public at all costs. Do you understand? You know what? I'd like to send up for a drug test right now. I'm sending you for a drug test. If you fail the test, if you fail to come back, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. You understand? I'm going to have you go take a drug test. We're going to have you come back, and then I'm going to have you talk to a lawyer here momentarily. Do you understand? Come back, because if you don't, I will issue a warrant, man. Okay, just take a seat, man. Good morning, Mr. Johnson. Sir, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against
I'll
you.
be right back.
You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. Officers were dispatched to a disturbance at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The complainant, the father of the defendant, told the officers that the defendant was being aggressive toward him and other guests because he was intoxicated. The complainant advised the defendant does not live at the house and was temporarily sleeping on the couch. The defendant began yelling at the officer and quickly approached him. The officer detained the defendant. In the living room, the officer observed damage to the wall and rug, as well as broken dishes. The damage was approximately $800.
Damage? I didn't hear.
I'll check the damages. I see that he told the officer the defendant was being aggressive toward him and other guests, and the officer observed damage to the wall and rug. And let me.
Wonderful. Who did that?
There was I apologize. There was
It's
a
okay.
witness, I think it was the defendant's brother. So the complainant, the owner of the house, had stepped out of the house. And then while he was out, the witness, the brother, observed the defendant, break dishes and punch holes in the wall.
Okay, so you have a witness that puts him breaking the stuff.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. I want you to understand one thing and hear me clear, Mr. Johnson, that if I make your bond $5,000 to $10,000 because you violate conditions and you don't have anyone to pony up that kind of money, you will be stuck like Chuck until this thing is over with. So consider this when you're out there in the free world, because if I find that you violate these conditions, you go back to this house, you start breaking more property, I'm going to put you in custody and I'm going to make your bond high. You understand?
Sure.
How old are you, sir? What do you do for a living?
I'm a caretaker for my brother. My brother's legally bond, so caretaker for him.
You earn money from the state for doing that.
Sure.
How much money do you earn money from the state?
$900 a month.
How much time does that take of your day?
Whoa. He's not telling the truth. I don't think he's telling the truth. Because if you yourself are on disability, I'm not going to go there because not every case is the same. But I will tell you that I'm suspecting he's not telling the truth based on that number he gave. I'm just saying.
To take care of. And how old is your brother?
Brother is 33. Takes about 4 hours, 5 hours a day.
A week?
A day. 5 hours a day. Yes, sir.
Did you want to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, sir? Okay. I'm absolutely serious when I mean no drugs, no alcohol. I'm telling you now, I'm going to test you like crazy. And if I find that you're using, especially while you're getting paid by the state, if I find that you're using, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand? Take note, because heed this warning, sir. All right, I'm going to have you, Stephen's going to give you an application. I'm going to have you sign a resource with Victoria. We're going to have bond conditions created for you. You will sign for these conditions, and then we'll find your lawyer, sir. Come on. Oh, wait. Sorry. You're not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case. You're not to go back to this house. Do you understand? You're not to be in possession of any weapons as well.
I will say, Judge, I did speak to the complainant, his father. He does want to continue to have contact. He said that the defendant has apologized and he's not letting him stay there anymore, but he would like to be able to have contact with him.
You know, Mr. Johnson, there are people in this life that when they drink and when they use, they become very happy people.
Hey,
and they're
boy.
fun to hang around with.
He's
You know,
a
they're
special
like
judge.
party, they make jokes, they're great. And then there are those that when they
Special judge.
consume, they turn into,
We
they develop horns.
We love to see
They're
what
not
he's wearing.
nice. They start to be aggressive. They
I'm
beat
sorry,
everybody
Toy.
up. If this is you, then don't use. Do you understand? Because if you cannot control yourself, because I'm going to tell you now, 90% of the people that we have, no self-control. And it gets worse when you start using. You understand? Okay. I will.
Okay, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to go live on the other, and we're going to end this live. I'm starting to cut my lives in half. That way, if I need to, I can edit them. So, yeah, we learning how to do all this. Give me a split second. I need to do something. But I'm enjoying this guy. I just love his no nonsense, no BS frame of mind. I'm really, really liking him. And I'm really, really glad that we have him to watch. Hold on. I'm trying to go to this one. I need to go to customize. I need to go redirect to this one. Save. Okay, so now I have a redirect set up. Yay! I've learned how to do all this, y'all. This is amazing. I hope all of you will teleport over there with me. But we're going to go live on the other one. Get it up. Where is my live? That's that one. Where's the other one? Oh, come on. Really? There it is. Okay. Let me go live here. And I'll see you at the other stream. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.